Tap in, tap in. We got a serious issue to address. Something very important we need to talk about tonight. I wish I would have went live earlier, but I had to get some receipts, to get some information because this is a serious topic. This is a serious issue, and something needs to be done about this. We need answers in the state of Mississippi. We need answers, and we need it now. Because what's going on is in Mississippi is egregious. What's happening with these lynchings, with these killings, mysteriously, black young black men and young black women end up dying in mysterious, very not mysterious, but very suspicious ways, and people are just the state of Mississippi is brushing off these incidences as mere freak accidents or self-inflicted incidences, and this gotta stop. I'm tired of what's going on in the state of Mississippi. Nothing's being done about it, and we need answers. We need answers. We need answers. Something needs to be done about it. What's going on in the state of Mississippi? What's going on in the state of Mississippi is absolutely disgusting. It's egregious what's going on in the state of Mississippi. Come on, tap in, guys. Tap in into the live stream. Tapping in. What's going on in the state of Mississippi is absolutely disgusting. I'm sick and I'm actually appalled that the state of Mississippi has ruled these two incidences involving this young female, this young black female, and this young black male as just self-inflicted. They said there's no foul play involved with both of these victims who tragically lost their lives in similar fashion, where they're found lynched in the woods. So I want to know what's going on in the state of Mississippi, because when you hear these stories of young black men and young black women, these incidences of these black men and black women, they rule it off as no foul play. They don't want to investigate what's going on. We can clearly see something nefarious is going on, and then they refuse to do a thorough investigation to get to the bottom of what's going on. There was a 911 call in which, so the two victims I'm going to be addressing is this lady named Tasia Fortune and this young man named Rasheem Carter. And Tasia was 29 years old, and she was found hanging from the tree in Mississippi. And Tasia, mom said that Tasia was like a very strong individual. She always had a lot of positive things to say, and she's not the type of person that will harm herself. So the fact that our tragic passing has been ruled as self-inflicted, you know what, makes me believe there's something else going on with the state of Mississippi when it comes onto black. They're like keeping everything hidden, and the governor and the sheriff's department. I believe this is my own inference or my own interpretation. I believe they have some dealings with white supremacist groups, because the fact that they're so quick to come out and say no foul play was involved without actually doing any investigation makes me believe this is something that's systemic that's going on in the state of Mississippi. And the fact that you got three black, it's not the only black lives that was tragically taken away from them. You had Nolan Wells case that's still going. That's an ongoing case that's been over a month now, and it's very upsetting to me, because there's nothing that there you could see that when it comes on to the district attorney, and when it comes on to the federal law enforcement, they don't want to take they don't want to take the necessary steps that it is required for them to do to do more analysis of what's going on. You know, you got body cam, you got cameras everywhere, you got you got a lot of videotapes. A lot of things like they don't want to investigate what's going on. They just want to downplay it as just accidental. Now, I want to play this video because this is very sad. The case involving Tasia Fortune. Can you guys let me know if you guys in the chat? Hi, Rylan. Thank you for tuning in, Rylan. I appreciate it. So the first case I'm going to address is the situation involving Tasia Fortune. She was going on a trip. Well, she's not originally from Mississippi. She was actually hanging out with her friends in Mississippi to celebrate Juneteenth, and friends said that she was not the type to be like, you know what, to want to harm herself, and her mom said that that's not who she is as a person. So when she was found lynched in the forest, they made it seem as if she inflicted this on her own, and it's just very suspicious to me because they ruled it out automatically as self-inflicted. They didn't even want to what's up, cuz? They didn't even want to look into this deeper. So it really is upsetting to me that the state of Mississippi is allowed to get away with this stuff, because I really believe there are white supremacist group that are going around targeting lone black people, like soft targets. They're going after people like who are black that are like alone by themselves, and they just basically trying to take them out, almost like a sick game that they're playing. And they know that going after one individual is an easier thing. They're easier targets to go after because, you know, the government, the district attorney, and the sheriff department is not going to look into it into the case in for further more. Excuse me. They're not going to look into the case further to determine what actually happened to these victims. So when I look and I read this article, right, it's really upsetting to me because similar matter, it's like the manner in which they were killed was very suspicious, and it happened around the same time. You know, it's not like it happened a year ago. Like it happened around the same month or so. So you could tell that this is like some type of sick game that these white supremacist groups are going and they're committing these kind of lynchings, almost like a badge of honor for them to do so. So let me see if I could play this video, because something needs to be done about this, man. And I think it's time for black peoples to start arming themselves in the state of Mississippi. And a lot of these sundown towns, they need to start arming themselves. We don't want, you don't have, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe you have to take matters into your own hand, but we have to be, as people, we have to be more mindful of the attack that our people are going through. Jaden, thank you for tuning in. So this is a direct attack on our people, and our people needs to stay armed and be ready for whatever situation may happen, because these people, these groups of people that are going out there committing these acts of crime and malicious, evil, you know, killings of our people, they are going after soft targets. They're going after they're going after people that they know are easy to take out, because they're not going to go after a group of black people that are more organized. You see, our people need to be more organized, and also we need to be more militant, because we have to be thinking, we have to be aware this is psychological warfare. You see, these folks, you can't reason with them. You can't be diplomatic with them. You can't try to work out anything with these people. You see, when they have intentions to harm us, they're going to go the extra mile to make sure they do it. And I'm angry, and I'm just angry for the fact that nothing is being done to get justice for these victims. Nothing is done in the state of Texas for our people, for them to get justice. It's like they just brushing it under the rug. They're just brushing it under the rug. So they said they had a person of interest, right, in the Tasia fortune case, but they are using this guy saying that he may be directly involved with Tasia unaliving, and they said that he was like an ex-boyfriend of hers. But I honestly believe he's being used as a scapegoat. I honestly believe he's not directly involved with her, with her, with her killing, with her killing. I don't think he's directly involved. They're just using him as a scapegoat. You see, when it comes down to these white folks or these white supremacist groups that run rampant in the state of Mississippi, they're being protected by the by the powers that be, right? They're protected by the sheriff's department. They're protected by the government, the governor, by the district. They're protected by these high elected officials in the state of Texas. Because when you think about it, there's multiple incidences like this that have happened, and all of them have been ruled out as accidental. All of it has been ruled out as, like, self-inflicted. So I want to know what's going on in the state of Mississippi, man. Why is nothing being done about these incidences? So when I'm gonna read this article real quick, because we're gonna get to the bottom of what's going on. So I'm first addressing Tasia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Tasia Fortune was 29 years old, and she was found hung from a tree. And wait, is this guy kind of, wait, why are you saying love? Why are you saying this, dude? Can you, wait, you give me weird, wait. You already see my channel, man. I don't need to tell you my name, bro. Are you gay or something? No disrespect, but like, we don't, I don't do that funny business stuff that you doing over here. I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but why you asking me for my name, man? My channel, my name is my YouTube channel, brother. Anyways, let's play this video, bro. Let's play this video. Hey, cuz, you still in the live stream? All right, let's play this video.
26 at a family reunion in Kentucky, and she says her daughter was doing better than she had seen her in a long time and seemed to be at peace. But 8 days later, on August 3rd, Tasia was found dead. Her mother says that she does not believe that Tasia took her own life, and the family isn't alone in calling for a closer look at what happened. Now, Jackson City Council member Kenneth Stokes, he is asking the U.S. Attorney's Office to step in and investigate Tasia's death, saying that there are still too many unanswered questions. Let's listen.
We sent a letter to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Why the volume so low?
Asking for help to make sure we check and convict.
Alright, dude, you gotta go, man.
Or persons involved with hanging.
This dude is trolling right now in my chat.
In Jackson, Mississippi. Hangings in the world of Mississippi, when you think of Emmett Till and others, it's a bad word. So surely somebody should say something.
Yo, so nobody saw anything. There are no ring cameras. There's no nothing. How are you found in your hanging in your backyard? Nobody's seen anything.
Well, no, it wasn't abandoned, like a vacant house. And so, yeah, it was a vacant house, remote area, or it's a place where maybe no one lives. But one of the questions is how she ended up there, because it's sadly to say, firefighters had to use a ladder to bring her down. That's how high she was.
Oh my God.
So police are investigating, but they have not said what they believe happened or how she died. The medical examiner is conducting an autopsy to determine the cause of death and the manner of death. And just some more important context around this case. She's the third person in less than a year to be found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. So, the other two deaths, authorities ruled were suicide, but, none of these are connected, is what the authorities are saying. But, right now, investigators are still just trying to determine.
It's so disgusting how they say none of them are connected when we see a pattern that's going on. we could clearly see that there's a pattern of behavior that's going on with with the manner in which these young black men and women are being found. They are being found lynched in the forest in these suspicious ways, and they all rule it out as self-inflicted. They don't even wait to get more information, and they're not doing no investigation to get to the bottom, or at least do more background information. Figure out, is there any messages that they received on their phone that were like threatening? Why not review the cameras of the surrounding area in which the person was found hanged? Why not interview the next neighbors that live in the area to see if they seen any suspicious activity that was going on around the time that this person was tragically taken out? You see, when it comes on to the state of Mississippi, they don't want to do what's necessary to do their own investigation to determine what's really going on with these incidences of these young black men and women found lynched in these trees. Like lynched, and it's becoming a pattern, and they're trying to convince us that these incidences are not related, that there is not a group of white supremacist militia groups out here that are going out there and attack, and they are targeting lone individuals that are black. Because you see, they're not going to go after a group of people that's going to put up a fight. They're going to go after individuals that are soft targets. That's what I'm thinking. Because in this next story I'm going to read to you, you could see this one, they don't have any type of recording of her, saying that she's being threatened by some group of white supremacists. But in this next incident involving the passing of Rasheem Carter, there is video, there's proof that he called 911, and he is saying on the recording that there are three racist people in trucks that were following him, and they were threatening. And so listen to this situation, because this is ridiculous. Listen to this.
Secret Service Sam here, and we need justice for Rasheem Carter, a man in Taylorsville, Mississippi, who was running from three truck loads full of white men who were yelling racial slurs at him. He ran into the police department. He begged them for a ride. They told him, "We are not an Uber service. We are not a taxi service." He then was seen on a dollar store surveillance camera, running into the woods. He didn't have a shirt on. He had a stick with him to defend himself. Then this poor man is found unalived in the woods, his body spread into pieces all over the woods. His spinal cord, his head, all of his body parts were spread all over the woods. And the most disgusting and saddest trigger warning part about it is he was found with his private parts in his mouth. Now, I've just been made aware of this. I saw another content creator post this, so I am amplifying this. And I just saw a video where they interview this old man, and he has the nerve to say, what, some crackhead came down here and went around and nobody cares. That's just what happens. They've been complaining about stuff for 4 generations. Like, you just keep showing your cards, Mississippi. He said the last known footage of him was on a deer camera running through the woods with his shirt off and a stick in his hand for protection. And then Mississippi has the nerve to say there was no foul play, that animals did this. What kind of animal puts private parts in somebody's mouth? This is Klan behavior. So we need justice for Rasheem Carter. In Mississippi, we are not letting off you at all. So if you think that you're going to continue to get away with things like this, you are sadly mistaken, because now the whole globe is watching your shitty behavior. Secret Service, Sam.
You see this crap? Listen to when you think about this situation, right? There's clear evidence that Rasheem Carter was being followed and stalked by a group of white men that were driving trucks, and he was trying to run away from them. And he even got into he went to a police station, and they told him, well, we can't really help you because it happened in a different district, and that's not in our jurisdiction. They didn't even care to investigate what was going on. They didn't ask him questions about, can you give a description of the trucks or the type of individual that approached you? They didn't even try to assist him with getting him somewhere safely. He was left fending for himself. So I honestly believe this is my inference, and this is what I think. I think the sheriff's department is involved in some way with these racist white supremacist groups. Maybe it's the KKK. It could be some other white supremacist groups, but I believe the police department is in cahoots with them because it never seemed as if the police department have any sense of urgency in investigating these cases in which a young black man and woman end up mysteriously losing their lives, or if they are, reporting incidents in which they have been threatened, they ignore it. They don't do no investigative work. They don't do their due diligence, in which it's required by law for them to do as police officers to protect the public or protect the individual that's being threatened. So there is some nefarious thing going on with the sheriff department, man. I believe there are in direct link with these white supremacist groups because Mississippi is a deep southern state, and they go way back, and they have a lot of deep ties with these white supremacist groups, and they have they have the state on a chokehold when it comes on to these white supremacist groups. They're heavily involved in government, so that deep ties that they have makes me know that they're doing all this stuff to cover up these incidences because they have a stronghold in the state of Mississippi. These white supremacist groups have a stronghold, and they're heavily, connected to the police department, the government, and all this stuff. There's a huge connection between these groups. So it's just infuriating to me that they don't even want to even do what is required for them as law enforcement to look into these matters and take it seriously. How can you claim when you found Rasheem Water with his private part cut off, put in his mouth, that it was done by animals, and on top of that you had his body parts that were cut up and it was separated in all different places, but they rule it off as it's an animal that attacked them and stuff like that, when it's clear as day that he was being threatened by a bunch of white men driving in these trucks. He reported this. You see, you have footprints. You have some footprints of this case happening. And that even when there's proof of that actually taking place, they don't care to even do any investigation. So my thing is this. What is going on with the state of Mississippi? Because this is not the only time something like this happened. This has been going on for a while now. And I am really disgusted with the state of Mississippi. That's been going on for too long. This has been going on for too long, and nothing's been done about it. And we need justice for these victims, man. Justice for Tasia, Fortune, and justice for this young man, because this is not self-inflicted, man. You could look and it's just clear as day. They didn't do this to themselves. Rasheem Carter. These are not self-inflicted. Okay, so let me play this other video with Rasheem Carter, because this is sick. This is what they're doing now in this modern time with technology, bro. You got cameras everywhere, and you tell me they can't find any video camera footage of the incident. They found him running basically in the woods by himself, but they can't find no video footage of these perpetrators following him, stalking him, and threatening to kill him. Make that make sense, man. Please make that make sense, because with the cameras all over now, you cannot tell me that they don't. There's no way they didn't see anything. No one didn't see anything. Come on, man. So let's play this video real quick.
There's been a haunting new discovery 6 months after the mysterious death of 25-year-old Rasheem Carter. His family says he was last heard of in fear for his life. Now they are calling for transparency from police.
The police said there was no footage at all. They never went to look for footage. They never tried to get footage.
They don't care.
So 3 weeks later, a
They
picture
really
of
don't
Carter
care.
was handed over to the police. The picture was taken by Nikki Blakeney's trail camera. Saw the relevance of the picture weeks after Carter went missing.
I have no idea what happened to the fella. Didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm just glad I could help, because if they had not had a starting point to look for that man, they would never have found him.
He had a stick on his shoulder, and he was looking back. He didn't have on his shirt, and he was running and just looking back when somebody was chasing him.
The gentleman was coming this way, but the camera was here. I didn't see him looking at the camera, but I only had the one picture. I know a lot of people have been upset about it, and a lot of people said, well, if you hadn't have did that, we wouldn't be having any kind of troubles and all that they kind of seem to be having. I said, well, I got to do the right thing. I said, the right thing was to turn that in for his mother, then to have some kind of closure.
It would be the last time Rasheem was seen alive.
I knew it wasn't good. And when I saw that photo, I just knew my heart just dropped. I knew that it was something wrong then.
Can you believe that?
There's been a haunting new discovery 6 months.
Let's stop that. Can you believe that craziness? So he was found on video running away, like he's being chased after somebody, and yet the police department said no foul play was involved. They ruled this as self-inflicted, or not self-inflicted, that he was attacked by animals, or just, they didn't say that there was nefarious activity that was taking place that resulted in him passing, right? So what is going on in these situations is that we see a pattern. You could look at previous cases in the past and recent, in which you find either a black man, a black woman that is found lynched, hung from trees, and in every situation they ruled it as self-inflicted, accidental, no foul play. They don't do no more investigation to get to the bottom of what's going on with these mysterious deaths. And it's just ridiculous to me that this has been going on for so long and nothing's been done about it. Like, this has been going on for years and years. I mean, this you could go back into slavery time, man. How many black bodies have been tragically taken away by these white supremacist groups, and nothing was done to bring justice for the family? And just like how it is in the past, history is repeating itself again. And you see these cases happen time and time again, where the medical examiner that is supposed to do what's right and get to the bottom of what's the cause of death, this medical examiner has ruled every single incident involving black men and women as self-inflicted. There's no foul play involved, and they don't want to even do what's necessary to get to the bottom of the story. They don't want to look more deeper into who may be someone that is in close proximity with these individuals during the time of their killing. Like, who may have been in that area during the time of this crime taking place. They don't want to look at they don't want to ask the next other neighbors and people in the close proximity area if they have any video footage of the incident where they could see any suspicious activity that have taken place during the time when this person tragically lost their lives. And yeah, just really frustrating to me, man. Can anyone, what you guys think about the whole situation? How you guys feel about this? Because I'm tired. I'm really sick and tired of it, and I want my people to get justice. And I think it's about time for us to armor ourselves. Like, if you live in a deep state, if you live in one of these sundown towns, you got to start thinking about yourself and your safety, man. You got to start arming yourself and be prepared, because these, I call them racist, malicious group. They are out to attack and lynch innocent black men and women. They're not going after people who will fight back. They're going after soft targets. Soft targets, people who don't have a chance to fight back because they don't have anything to protect themselves with. So they're going after soft targets, man. And so it's time for us to start thinking militant. Like, we got to start thinking more militant. We can't be so accepting of outsiders. I'm not saying we gotta not be judged. We not to judge every single person and think everybody's out to get you. But you always gotta be more aware of your surroundings. Just don't go to places that you're not aware of, and always make sure you surround yourself with people that can look out for you, and be prepared for whatever may happen. Because it's one thing to not have anything ready. Is once you got something, it's one thing to be prepared than to not be prepared. I'd rather be prepared in case of anything. But you don't want to also put yourself in this type of predicament. You don't want to be wandering off in places that you're not aware of. Like, know your surroundings, and be vigilant, because they're out here to attack. And the Bible said, be sober and vigilant, because the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking these souls he may devour. And when you think about it, these people are out here trying to attack and destroy as many innocent people as they can, and they know they could get away with it because the system support them. It backs them up. So let's play this other video. I want to read this article right now. I want to read this article because it's very frustrating to me. Nothing is being done about this. Like, how has this been going on for so long and nothing is being done about it? And then when you bring up these issues, they're saying that you're making this all about race, but we know this has everything to do with race, because we're not seeing the same type of energy. We're not seeing any other ethnic group or race of people being lynched in this type of manner. And then we've seen a pattern happen over and over again. And we're not seeing all the ethnic group or race, so we know this has to do with race. Do we see any white folks that are being lynched over and over again in this type of manner? Because if that was the case, they would have been got to the bottom of it. They would have been solved these cases. But when it involves black bodies, there's nothing that's urgently done to solve the case. They sweep everything under the rug. They're so quick to say there's no foul play involved. And it's like they don't even wait for the investigation to actually be done. They just automatically rule it off as no foul play. How is it that no foul play can be ruled as the outcome when you haven't done enough thorough investigation to figure out what was the cause of this person passing away? So let's go. I have this one other article I want to read, because this is infuriating.
This was not a natural kill.
Listen to this.
This was not a natural death. This represents a young man who was killed. His head was severed from his body. His vertebrae, his spinal cord, was in another spot they discovered away from his severed head. They have recently found remains that they believe are also Rasheem Carter at another part of where he went missing. And what that tells us is that this was a nefarious act. This was an evil act. Somebody murdered Rasheem Carter. This was not a natural kill.
Exactly. They always want to say natural. They said he got hunted by animals, man. What kind of animal is gonna even animals that kill their prey don't do this stuff. Like his body parts was found all throughout the forest, and on top of that, they found his private part in his mouth. You know that's not coming from an animal, man. Let's be realistic here. No animal is gonna do that. So we know there is something nefarious that happened to this young man. Something nefarious happened to this young man, and the state of Mississippi refused to do what is required for them to do to make sure they solve this crime. They downplaying it and saying this is a natural cause. I'm telling you, man, something got to give, bro. This can't keep going on. So when I read the art, there was an article that I wanted to read. It says neighbors, they heard about this thing. The 25-year-old was strangely. He told his mother that there were 3 truckloads of white men that were following after him, trying to kill him. And Tiffany Carter informed her son to seek help from the Taylor Civil Police Department. But that proved futile, as cop ignored his concern that men were after him and he was in fear of his life. The next day, he was last seen at the Super 9 Hotel, according to the police department. Then he vanished. It was not until a month later that his remains were found in wooded area south of Taylor's Village. So that means he was dead for a while. They may have murdered him the day off or the day after, but he was dead for a while, like for a little bit over a month, like close to a month, right? And so his body parts were found throughout the whole. It's a sick. And it says here, they received his head and spinal cord in a box. As his head was severed, he was beheaded, and they found remains believed to belong to him in other areas. Man, and this is another form of lynching. Another form of lynching, bro. And this is crazy that nothing is done about it. Like, they found his private part in his mouth, and sick, man. Where are the cameras, bro? To see? Come on, there are cameras everywhere. There's no way they didn't see anything that was suspicious during that time when he was running away. He was being chased by these individuals, man. He's being chased by these individuals. So what is going on here? Tell me, anyone. Please give me your input of what you think is going on in the state of Mississippi. Let me know. Do you guys see this as accidental? I know most people won't. I mean, common sense would tell you this is not accidental, or this is not natural, or self-inflicted, or all this other stuff. There's no foul play. What do you guys think? Because I'm tired of this, man. The state of Mississippi has been notorious for committing these acts of notorious, like just straight up diabolical stuff they do to young black men and women. I mean, it's just sick, man. It's absolutely sick, and I'm just sick and tired of the state, man. I'm seeking justice for Rasheem Carter, and I'm seeking justice for this young woman named Tasia Fortune. I'm seeking justice for my people, because if nobody speak up for us, who else will? Because mainstream media is not going to address any of these topics. They're going to sweep it on the rug. They're not even going to bring light to these situations. And we clearly see a pattern that's going on in these type of lynchings that's taking place in the state of Mississippi. So we as black content creators, because the thing is that people want to say this has nothing to do with race, but if it has nothing to do with race, why is it that it's black men and women that are being lynched in this type of manner? And then time and time again, you hear this same conclusion. Oh, no foul play is involved. And then in this situation involving this young man, he went to the police department and reported this incident of him being stalked by these white individuals that was driving these trucks. It's a pickup truck or whatever. And the police officer told him, what that has to do with us, basically. That's none of our concern. And they left him out to fend for himself. They didn't actually try to ask him about, do you know any incidents, or like try to get information from him. to describe how the truck looks? Do you see any like description of these individuals? As we know already, the police department in the state of Mississippi are in cahoots with these racist militia groups, man, that are going out there lynching black men and women, man. They're in cahoots with each other because we see the same type of pattern playing over and over again. There's a saying that fool me once, shame on me. You know, fool me twice, shame on you. I mean, something like that. I don't know the exact saying, but like if you see a pattern playing, you cannot just fall for the same trick, right? Over and over again. You start seeing things, and you start knowing that something else is going on. It's not just accidental, you know. Are you there, cuz? Let me know if you're still in the live stream because I didn't hear you. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about it. Because this is ridiculous, man. They're young. They have their whole life ahead of them. Just so evil and wicked, man. Oh, hear this. Hear this out. Here's an update. They said they found a person of interest involved in the lynching of give me 1 second. Of Tasia Fortune. Listen to this.
Mississippi, I see that we have an update on the Tasia Fortune case. Y'all remember who Tasia Fortune is, right? The 29-year-old black woman found hanging from a tree down there in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, her mother spoke out and stated she doesn't believe her daughter did this to herself. Now, there is a person of interest by the name of Terrence Anderson. He has been detained, but not detained in her death. He has been charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, I have seen reports stating that they was in a relationship. However, he's denying that allegation. He has stated that they did just have an argument, and he denies having any involvement with her death. Now, when I find out more information on this case, I will let you guys know. Make sure you like, follow.
So they're already using him as a scapegoat. But here's the thing that really concerning to me. You see how quick they were able to pinpoint the ex-boyfriend as the individual that's responsible for her death. You see how fast it didn't. You see it didn't take them long to at least persecute him on that situation. But you see, any incidents involving these cases in which black men and women are have been found lynched, they don't do no investigation to get to the bottom of everything and pinpoint. Okay, let's go find the person that's involved. That's responsible for this killing. They are using this man as a scapegoat. This is plain as day. They're throwing him under the bus and saying, oh, he's the one that did it. But he denied it. He said, no, he had nothing to do with her being lynched. And she had kids too. She had a family. She wouldn't do this to herself, man. They're saying that it's self-inflicted. Oh, she did. Oh, and if not that, they're claiming that the ex is responsible for it. So what that tells you about the state of Mississippi, man? What is that telling you about the state? Do you believe that this is an isolated incident? That it's just like one isolated incident. Oh, and we don't see no connection. We can't connect the dots and see a pattern with this. We don't think that okay, there's a mob of a group of white men. I'm not saying it. Listen. There are racist groups that exist within the state of Mississippi. So are you not saying that there is some militia group of racist white people that are out there going to commit these mob attacks where they're going to execute individuals because they see them as easy targets? That's a fair assessment. That's a fair question to ask because I don't think it's an isolated incident. I believe it's a collaborative effort by a group of evil people that are just out there just going after easy targets. And They know the state of the elected official, governor, the sheriff departments, police officers. They're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna get to the bottom of it. They're not gonna do their due diligence to do a thorough investigation to figure out what really went wrong that caused the demise of these individuals. They're not gonna do what's necessary. So what's going on, man? I'm asking questions, man, because we need to get to the bottom of this. Something needs to happen, man. And like I said, we gotta start, man. I'm telling black folks, we gotta start being prepared for anything, man, because they're going. I'm not saying this is gonna be every place, because I know there's good in every race. So I'm not gonna say it's a collective group of people. I mean, I'm saying it as a whole is the same problem as a whole, but there is groups of people within that race that are committing these type of atrocious act, and they're allowed to do this for years, and they're able to get away with this. They're able to get away with this, man. What is going on in the state of Mississippi, man? Oh, there's some serious allegations that claims that this man named Stephen Luke, who's the boss of Rasheem Carter, that there's some serious allegations pending against him in the state of Mississippi. And somebody said, I work at Georgia plant in Taylorsville. This guy who killed Rasheem Carter is 39-year-old Stephon Luke Clements. His address is 711. Look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. Look at this. Somebody said, I work at Georgia plant in Taylorville. The guy who killed Rasheem Carter is 39-year-old Stephon Luke Clements. His address is 711 Dr. Parker Road, Pleasant Hill, North Carolina. His cell phone number is 252-578-8080. Stop waiting on the police to give y'all justice. Wow. So I'm not gonna say I don't know if he's responsible for his death, but this person is claiming that he's involved with killing this young man, Rasheem Carter. So I want to know, where does he get this information from? Like, how do you know that he's responsible? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not advocating for violence, but you know, people are going to get fed up eventually, and they're going to take matters into their own hand. And I don't want it to reach that level. But you see, when people have been persecuted for so long, and you know, when we're trying to seek justice and we're trying to do it the diplomatic way, and we see that nothing is being done to bring justice to our people, I mean, people are going to get frustrated, and they're going to do what they do. Like I said, when it comes on to us and on our black lives, it don't matter to the predominant white society. It doesn't matter. Our lives are not valued the same as white people. That's a fact. Because you cannot tell me that if there are cases of these white folks that are being found lynched in these mysterious ways, well, we know it's more like suspicious ways. We cannot say that, oh, they're just going to rule it off as natural or accidental or self-inflicted. They're not going to just rule it off as, oh, it's nothing big, or there's no foul play. You know, they're going to do whatever is necessary to determine who's responsible for this person dying in the manner in which they did. So let me know, cuz are you still in the live chat? I seen the one. I don't know if you're busy or anything, but let me know what you think about this, because there's people. Somebody claiming said they know this person that's involved. They give his name, his age, his address, his phone number. This is getting real serious right now. People are getting fed up with this. People are getting fed up, and I won't be surprised you start seeing some retaliation coming out of this. Because you see, when you seen this happen time and time again, and nothing's being done. The sheriff department is like ignoring the case. They're just down. They're not even taking it seriously. They don't want to do their jobs, and then it's just like nothing is being done. And when the medical examiner is examining these deaths, they rule it off as like self-inflicted, as no foul play. It's just enough is enough, bro. Something else got to give. Something has got to give. And I'm praying that God would step in and take control of the situation, because people are fed up with this. People are absolutely fed up with this, man. And people are not going to sit down and just allow this to happen without fighting back. You see, they don't want us to speak out against this. They don't want us to advocate for our people. It's like whenever we speak out against these type of injustices that's going on, not just in the state of Mississippi, but across this country, they always want to shame us and tell us, oh, you guys just like to play the victim, and all you guys do is use the race card. And it's like they will try to use ad hominem attacks to divert from the topic that you're trying to address. And you see, when somebody resorts to using ad hominem attacks, saying like you trying to just play the victim, and you always trying to make it about race, and you're always complaining about the white supremacy and racism and all this stuff, is them basically deflecting from the real issue that you should be addressing. Because I'm telling you right now, if the roles were reversed and you seeing stories upon stories of white men and women being lynched in the way they're being lynched when it comes down to us, there's going to be way more resources that's going to be put into finding out what actually took place that led to their death. They're not going to just rule it off as self-inflicted and natural or accidental. And they're not going to just say, oh, it's foul play involved. There's no foul play involved. They're gonna definitely say there's a possibility of foul play being involved. So race absolutely have everything to do with it. Because if there's not the case, we would see different cases of different races of people, and we'd see the same thing happen with them. But it's only black people that are being found in these type of conditions, and we see the same scenario play out, in which the medical examiner is saying there's no foul play involved. The sheriff department says there's no foul play involved. I'm just sick and tired of it, man. I am sick and tired of it. Because black folks, we don't do this type of stuff. We don't hang ourselves from no tree, man. That's not how that's not what we do, bro. That's not within us. That's not in our nature to do that. You know what I mean? Hey, cuz, are you still in live? Let me know, man. Let me know. So here's the thing. This is the type of thing they did to this young black man, right? Really, really infuriating me. They beated him to death. They cut his private part and placed it in his mouth. They cut his fingers. Okay, you hear? Okay. Well, let me know what you think about what I said so far. What's your opinion about it? They cut his fingers off. They dug his eye out of his head. They cut other parts of his body off. They gave his body to wild animals. They pour acid on his body. And then Gabe Horn, who is the chief of Taylor's, Mississippi, and Bobby, the cleanup man, who also the maintenance man of Television Project. Wait, let me see if I can read the rest of this. I can't see the rest of this stuff. The boss man, Mr. Stephen Luke Clements. Some parts of this is cut off. I can't find the whole thing. Yeah, they're very sick, cuz they're very sick and disgusting, man. These people are demonic. I call them white tea devils. These YT devils are straight demonic, and I pray that God will bring fire and brimstone on these YT devils, because what they're doing to our people, well, what they're doing to black folks is just insane. The fact that they're able to do this stuff and get away with it speaks to the level of how racist the state of Mississippi is. And as a black person, you shouldn't live in the state of Mississippi, because these people could go out and just kill you with no impunity. They try to blame it on animals when even animals aren't that demonic. Exactly. Not even animals can do this type of evil stuff, man. Animals are not gonna cut your fingers off. Animals are not gonna cut out your eye, dug out your eye. Animals are not gonna dug out your private part and put in your mouth. Animals are not capable of doing that. And the fact that you have all this evidence that points to a nefarious act being done to this young black man makes me know there is some deeper rooted racist system that's taking taking place in the state of Mississippi, in which these racist militia groups, either the KKK or some other mob group, they have deep ties with the police department. Because when he ran to the police department to report this incident, over he was being followed by these white dudes that are in these trucks, the sheriff, like, they basically said, well, it's not in our jurisdiction, so we can't do anything about it. And they made fun of him. They made it seem like he was just being paranoid, or like they didn't look into trying to investigate this. You're supposed to do your job as a police officer, as a sheriff. It's your due diligence. It's upon you. It's your due diligence to go and really do an investigating report, like figure out who are these individuals that are threatening this young man. But as you know, my own guess is that they're heavily connected to these racist militia groups that are in the state of Mississippi, because they must have. There's no way. How is it that you have him, all this incident, and yet you just told him, okay, you gotta go. I can't help you. You're basically on your own. And it just tells me, in this country, the state of Mississippi, God is, man, I'm telling you, man, God is not pleased what they're doing in the state of Mississippi. But anyone living in the state of Mississippi, they need to be very careful. Do not go around lurking any place in the middle of nowhere, or any place you're not familiar by yourself. They need to be armed. Our people need to be more militant. That's one of the things that our people is weak in. And let me know if you agree with me, because I've realized this. This is why these folks all align mostly with the Democratic Party, because we always trying to help other groups of people that don't even care about us, and we trying to put people up needs above our own. But one thing I noticed about the black race that needs to be addressed is that we're not militant enough. We're not militant enough as people. We're too trusting of others. We're too accepting of others. And we believe other people are actually, don't get me wrong, that I'm not saying there's people in every race. But when you see a pattern with these cases, we got to start thinking about going to war, man. We got to be armed and ready to go to war against these YT devils. You can't be like, oh, it's an isolated incident, it won't happen to me. You clearly see these people are waging war against our young black men and women, our brothers and sisters. Like, I don't know this guy personally, but he's another black man. It could have been somebody that is related to me. It could be a cousin. It could be It could be a relative. So when you think about it, and you see that they're going after soft targets, and they're going only one specific group of people, they're not going after any other ethnic group or any other race of people. You don't see them going after Asian people. You don't see them going after Hispanics. You don't see them going after Middle Eastern people. No, they're going after strictly black people. So when you see a pattern, you start noticing, okay, they're going after black people, and they're going after soft targets. They're not going after people that are in groups that are, because when you got more than one people that's with each other, there's strength in numbers. They're not gonna go after people that's in groups. So black people, this is a warning. Be armed and ready for what's to come. Because it's better that you be armed and you do what you can to protect yourself. And yeah, you already know the system is against you. That's why I said black people could never be racist, because we don't benefit from the system. So already know, if you protect yourself and you take out one of these white T devils, you got to do what you got to do. So be it. And they're gonna charge you with the M word, even though you was defending yourself. You might as well, at least you fight. You live to fight another day. But don't go out like this. Don't go outside like this. Even though I'm not blaming the victim, because they didn't deserve what happened to them. But as people, we gotta learn. We gotta be ready for whatever. We at war against these white T devils, and I'm saying, not all white people are evil. You got some real upstanding white people. Just the video I played on Instagram. This guy is he's very, very outspoken against the injustices that's going on against black people. So he's a good guy. This dude named the one the video I just played earlier. So I'm not saying all white people are racist and everything, or they're evil, no. But I'm saying there's a select group of them within that race that are committing these type of mobs. They're like involved in mob attacks, where they go after soft targets, where you see a black person by themselves and they run up on them and just take them out. So yeah, man, we at war, man. The people of Mississippi, be armed. Black folks, get your gun license. Go to the gun range. Know how to shoot. Be prepared for whatever. Be prepared for war, because these people are waging war against us. They trying to knock us off one by one, and they're going after lone wolves. They're not going after people that are in groups, because if they shoot up a group of people, somebody's gonna witness something. Somebody's gonna notice something, or somebody may be armed. They're going after people that are easier to attack. You know what I'm saying? So our people got to be more militant, man. We too trusting of people. We allow our guards to be down when we're around these folks, and it's like, you got to be prepared for whatever's to come. You got to be prepared for whatever, man. And it's for black women too. Get your gun, get prepared. Learn how to shoot at the gun range. And I'm not saying this is across every state, because I'm not real worried about this stuff in the state that I'm in. But I'm talking about the southern states, the sundown town state, especially Mississippi. Black folks should be prepared already. They should be going to the gun range. They should be practicing how to shoot. Man, like, get your gun license, man. Make sure you got all your paperwork done. And practice at the gun range. Get good at shooting, man. Because you just never know when you're going to need it, when it's going to come in handy. And like I said, it's better that you take out one of them white T devils. Better you take out one of them bastards that having to, end up losing your life tragically, because they're not gonna give you justice. Your family gonna be seeking justice, and these devils are gonna say, oh, there's no foul play involved. So you better get to the gun range, start training how to shoot, start prepared for war, because I'd rather you take them out and have to deal with the legal issues with the system is designed to oppress us as people. So they're going to automatically view you as guilty. But I'd rather fight it in court. At least you live to fight another day than, having to die tragically, against your will, right? And then these people walk away scot-free. They get away with murder. Now, our people get ready for war, man. Not in every state. I'm talking about those sundown states, mainly those deep southern states. They got to be ready for whatever is to come, for whatever is going to happen and what's to come, because you just got to be prepared. You can't let your guard down. You can't think, oh, everybody is accepted. Excuse me. You can't think everybody's accepting and loving and understanding of who you are. These people hate you with a passion, and they want to take you out. They trying to take out as many black people as possible. They going after soft targets. They're not going after people that they know are gonna fight back. They're not gonna go. I know there's some parts of Mississippi that's like the hood. I know parts of Mississippi. There gotta be places in Mississippi where there's a large black population. You know they're not going after those areas where there's a decent black population. They're going after areas where their numbers are higher and there's not a lot of black people in those areas, so they could carry out these um, atrocious act of killings and lynching against our people, and nothing's being done about it because they're in cahoots with the police officers and the governor and all the stuff, so they could do this stuff and get away with it. Let's play this video right here. This stuff is infuriating to me, man.
5-year-old Rasheem Carter of Fayette was contracted to work in Smith County last year. Carter went missing in October after texting his mother that his life was in danger.
He said, me and the owner of this company not saying eye to eye, mama. His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he sent to me.
Attorneys say there was an attempt to use Carter's credit card in Taylorsville while he was missing. A month after his disappearance, some of his remains were found in Smith County.
His head was severed from his body. His spinal cord was in another spot they discovered away from his severed head. They have recently found remains that they believe are also Rasheem Carter.
The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office was not able to determine a cause of death because some of Carter's remains were in an advanced state of decomposition. Smith County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation, and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is assisting, but his family says more needs to be done, so attorneys sent a letter asking the U.S. Department of Justice to get involved. 25-year-old Rasheem Carter of Fayette was contracted.
So we should mention here, he was contracted to a company, and he already named the individual that may be possibly responsible for his death. And somebody posted in another post, they know the name of the perpetrator, and they gave the name of this perpetrator, the address. It's sick. Yeah, Uber Nell. Uber. It's very sick what's going on in the state of Mississippi. So I don't know if you've seen the whole video that I just recently played, but the family knows that this is not a freak accident or that is caused by wild animals. They're like, no, this is nefarious. Something evil happened to their son. The mom said, no, my son is not the type of person that would harm himself. So we know the state of Mississippi is trying to sweep this under the rug and just ignore this and not take it seriously. And he ran to the police department and reported this incident, and they said, oh, we can't do nothing about it because it's not in our jurisdiction. So when you think about everything that's going on in the state of Mississippi, you could tell these white militia groups are in cahoots with the police department, with the sheriff department, the government. Like they're in connection. They have a deep tie with them because they're not doing nothing. They're not ruling this as foul play. When it's clear as day, you got all the writing, everything that points to it being foul, that it being nefarious, and that there's foul play involved. But for some reason, they're saying, "Oh, it's no foul play involved, and this is all a freak accident, and you know, it's nothing else going on to the case," and they just dismiss the case and pretend like nothing else is going on. It's absolutely sick and disgusting what they're doing in the state of Mississippi, man. And this is why I was warning somebody getting their palms grease somewhere. What do you mean by that? Someone getting their palms greased. What? I don't know what you mean by that. And your comment got hidden. Um. Oh, you saying somebody taking bribes? Yeah, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if that's the case. If someone is taking bribes, there is a possibility that someone is paying someone to keep everything, a secret. There's a huge cover up going on, and it's like they're all connected. So it's the sheriff department is in cahoots with these racist militia group, and then on the top of that, you got the district attorney that also don't seek to look into these cases further. Then the governor. It's a collaborative effort by members of the state of Mississippi, like high members within the state of Mississippi, to just sweep these cases under the rug. They don't want the limelight on the state of Mississippi, but we got to keep putting pressure, and we got to make sure we tell our people in the state of Mississippi, any black person, do not go any place by yourself, wandering around. Always be armed and ready for whatever's to happen. And if you go anywhere, go with groups of people, preferably people of your own kind, and watch your back and be aware of your surroundings at all times. Do not let your guard down. Do not think, oh, this is an isolated incident, because you see, they want us to not remember these cases and just ignore it. They want to sweep this under the rug because they want people to not think this is a systemic thing, or they want to see it as an isolated incident, so you don't think, okay, there's a bigger issue at stake, so that you don't get like your self-awareness is not up there to the point where you're like, yo, I gotta start protecting me and my family. You said Satanists have been in position of power for a while. That is true. That's very true. And the Bible also said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. And a lot of these racist white supremacist groups that are committing these lynchings and doing all this stuff, there's a lot of them are Satanists. A lot of them practice witchcraft and sorceries and all type of stuff. So there's a spiritual component involved too as well. But we also got to fight that too. We got to fight the spiritual warfare, but also we got to also be protecting our life while we're here on this earth. Like, we're fighting two wars, spiritually and physical. The Bible said a weapon of this warfare is not carnal, but our people gotta be more vigilant. We gotta stay ready for whatever, because the Bible says stay vigilant, because the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking his souls and may devour. So you can't let your guard down. You can't be thinking, oh, this is an isolated incident, it won't happen to me. As long as I stay out the way, anything could happen at any given moment, especially in these sundown towns. Obviously, in different states, you don't really have to think about these incidents, because if you live in an area that is more diverse, these folks, they go after soft targets, and they do these acts when their numbers are bigger than, when there's like a small black population, they know they can get away with this, and the system of white supremacy protect them from being held accountable for doing this stuff. So let's go back and play this video, right? This guy, I'm gonna play this video one more time, and he explained in detail what's going on. Let's play this. Let's play this again.
Secret Service Sam here, and we need justice for Rasheem Carter, a man in Taylorsville, Mississippi, who was running from 3 truck loads full of white men who were yelling racial slurs at him. He ran into the police department. He begged them for a ride. They told him, we are not an Uber service. We are not a taxi service. He then was seen on a dollar store surveillance camera, running into the woods. He didn't have a shirt on. He had a stick with him to defend himself. Then this poor man is found unalived in the woods, his body spread into pieces all over the woods. His spinal cord, his head, all of his body parts were spread all over the woods. And the most disgusting and saddest trigger warning part about it is he was found with his private parts in his mouth. Now, I've just been made aware of this. I saw another content creator post this, so I am amplifying this. And I just saw a video where they interview this old man, and he has the nerve to say, what, some crackhead came down here and went around and nobody cares? That's just what happens. They've been complaining about stuff for 4.
You see, I always downplaying our incidents as like us complaining and making a mockery of us. That's just pure evil. Exactly, Urban, like, yeah, that's pure evil. Just demonic, straight demonic activity going on in the state of Mississippi. And see, when we try to seek answer and we speak out for our people, they say we're complaining. It's wicked, man. Name's Adam. Oh yeah, Adam. Yeah. He's a good guy, man. Like I said, I never would say the white race as a whole is racist, because you got some people like Adam, and you got some other people that are upstanding, that are in the white community, that are speaking out against this stuff. That's speaking out against the injustice that our people has gone through, right? So I'm just speaking about those select group of people that are involved with these militia groups that are going out there and attacking lone wolves, like soft targets. They don't go after black people that are white, and they will know. If they try to run up on a white end, it's gonna be up and popping, right? So they're not going after groups of black people that can fight back. They're going after soft targets, man. And it's like I said, our people gotta be more aware of the environment and the times that we're living in. So another thing that this is an isolated incident. That's why they don't want to put this in the mainstream news media, because they don't want people to start waking up and seeing what's going on. That it's a pattern of black people being targeted by these racist groups of mobs that are going out and attacking innocent black civilians. They're lynching them, they're beating them, and they're doing all type of evil stuff. And then they want to downplay it as like accidental and self-inflicted, and there's no foul play involved. You see how quick they are able to just say there's no foul play involved? They don't do no thorough investigation. They don't do no background research. They don't do nothing to get to the bottom of what's going on. They automatically rule it off as accidental. And that also goes back to this case with Nolan Wells. They're saying, oh, there's no foul play with the situation with Nolan Wells, that his death was accidental. He drowned when he was under the influence and all type of stuff, man. So I'm just sick and tired of the state of Mississippi. And this other young black woman that was found lynched in the tree is also similar to the case, because they're claiming that was self-inflicted. They're like, oh, there's no nefarious activity that has took place involving the hanging of this young woman. So listen to this. I'm gonna play this video over again, because we gotta bring light to this. More people need to talk out and address this situation, because so the mainstream media is not gonna talk about it. They're not gonna address it. TMZ is not gonna talk about it. ABC, CNN. They're not going to talk about this stuff. They're going to ignore it. So listen to this. And do you think tell me if you guys believe this is what they're trying to do. Or you think they're trying to incite a race war? Because be honest with you, they want that to happen. But my thing is, they don't want to. They know who to go after. You think they're trying to incite a race war? I believe in a way they are, but they're cowards. They're very calculated, because they're not going to go after people that's going to fight back. Because there's a lot of black folks that are armed and ready, but you see, the people that are in denial. There's a lot of people in our community that are just in denial. They don't even know where. They're not even aware of what's going on in this country. They're not aware of their surroundings. They're not militant, so they probably think, oh, they don't even know about it, and if they do, they're like, oh, that's an isolated incident, it ain't gonna happen. So they're not on their P's and Q's. So the thing is that we are people, we are under attack for sure, and so we gotta be prepared for anything. So my people is, I think the demons are inciting a lot of this sort of stuff. I do agree with you, Uber. I do Uber new. I say yeah, Uber new. I agree with you. There is a spiritual component to this, because I had a vision too, right? That there's an actual demon that is a racist, and this demon was speaking a lot of foul things out of his mouth. It was saying the N word. It was saying kill all N word, and just filthy. Some of the stuff this demon was saying, I can't even put it into words. It was saying some of the most foul thing, and I said, there's got to be a demon that's attached to these to these racist folks. Like, there's a demons attached to it. So I do believe there's a spiritual component to it, and so these people are allowing the demons to use them. And like, we as people, we have to fight against evil, man. Because the devil God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of a sound mind. And so God gives us the ability to be aware, to think smart, and be more aware of what's going on in the environment and the times that we're living in. Because you see, these people are out there, like they're basically like they're like the devil. They're out there warring around, seeking whose souls they may devour. So the Bible said, be vigilant, because the enemy, the adversary, is like a roaring lion seeking whose souls he may devour. So when you think about that aspect of it, that's the Bible warning us to be aware, to be ready, to be prepared, because the devil is out there seeking who he can destroy. And so I'm speaking out, man. I'm saying, like, our people gotta be prepared for war, man. I'm not trying to use fear or anything like that, because I don't think every single state is involved with that. You know, the southern states, the sundown town states, like Mississippi is one of the main states where these things happen over and over again. And you already see there is some nefarious thing going on in the state, in which the district attorney, the governor, and, you know, people within high ranking within society, they're basically looking out for one another, and they have their hands involved with this stuff. So there's like a huge cover up going on. So if you want to do any type of investigation that has come from outside of the state of Mississippi, you got to do an independent autopsy. You know, you got to get the FBI involved, but also the FBI can be compromised as well. So I think people are going to take matters into their own hands. They're getting fed up. I know a lot of people are getting upset and frustrated with what's going on. So they're probably going to start taking matters into their own hands, because it's like you're trying to do things the diplomatic way, and nothing is being done about it. You said that's not a lot that can be done. Only God can fix this. I believe God can fix it. At the same time, I believe you can do certain things to protect yourself as well, right? If you live in one of these sundown towns and one of them deep southern states, just be aware of your surroundings, and don't go any place by yourself. And live in an area where there's a fair, decent black population, a diverse group of people, but don't live in an area where it's like you're segregated and you're basically left to fend for yourself. Because one thing I know, our people got to be more militant, man. Our people got to be more militant. You see, if you got to do what you got to do to defend yourself, and you take out one of these white key devils, you could pray to God, and God can forgive you, because God understands you have to protect yourself, right? But let's say one of these people take you out, and you didn't do what you can to protect yourself, and you was to get unalived, and you never repent with Jesus, right? You know that you're not going to heaven, right? I'd rather take out one of these white key devils and repent after that, and, you know, God will understand. God is not going to judge you, because, you know, you have to do what you have to do to defend yourself, right? God never allowed his people to be taken by Pharaoh, right? He said, let my people go. when when the people of Israel was under slavery, and they were under a lot of oppression by Pharaoh, God did things to let him release his people. He sent famine and he also, you know, let the spirit of death came, and like the firstborn, every single firstborn in Egypt that never had the blood on the front door, they were dead instantly. See, God is not just gonna sit down and allow his people to be attacked. He's gonna defend his people. So why would God want us to sit down and let ourselves be attacked and not for us to defend ourselves? You know, we are the people of the Most High. We're the original people of the Bible. So it's like, for these demons to come after us, they're coming after God's creation. So we got to be ready for war. We got to be ready to protect ourselves at all costs. Come on, man. Like, for me, I live in a decent state. I don't have no issues. I don't have nothing to worry about. But if I was to move in like one of those southern states, even if it's like not, it may not be like a sundown, but like some place that I'm not familiar with, I'm gonna get my license to carry, and I'm gonna go into the guns, and I'm also gonna make sure I galvanize a group of people for us to be in, like, basically, just because you see what they're doing. These folks are going after soft targets, so they know, okay, I could go after this person because they're by themselves, but they're not gonna go after people that are in groups. So if I was living in one of those southern states or one of those sundown states, I would have galvanized a group of my people for us to come together and form like a group where, just like back in the days when you had we got like the Nation of Islam, even though obviously I'm a Christian, but you had groups like that where they form like a group to protect themselves, you know. So you got that group, you got, you know, so people got to get together. We got to form. We have to come together as one, and we can't be by ourselves. We can't. Don't let them have an easy time. You see, if you're by yourself, if you carry, make their life difficult, make their life a living hell. You see, at least take 2 or 3, take one of them out. At least you live to fight, and even if you may go down fighting, but the main thing is this: if you gotta take them out, I'd rather you do that than them taking you out, and then they won't do nothing to give you justice. But if you take one of them out and you do what you're supposed to do, you can fight whatever you fight in the legal system. You know, the system is not designed to help our people, right? So everything is used against us. But you see the situation involving Carmelo Anthony. He had to do what he had to do to defend himself. But at least he lived to fight another day, and now he's in the process of getting a new trial. So he's fighting the legal battle right now, but at least he's alive to fight that. I want people to be more like Carmelo Anthony. I want more of our people to be like Carmelo Anthony. Protect yourself at all costs. Take one of them out before they take you out. And yeah, you know, they're gonna try to lynch you in the legal system, but at least you live to fight another day, man. You said if I was living around there, I'd probably be carrying. Yeah, same here, man. I would be packing heavy. I'll be packing heavy because, yeah, you can't let your guard down in these places, man. Because, look, there's nothing. Look, let me read this again, right? Because we see this. Nothing is being done about this at all, right? They're not looking to investigate this. They already ruled this out as a freak accident or whatever. So they don't care to investigate what actually happened to this young man. As somebody said they know who's responsible for him dying. Look at this post. This guy says this dude is responsible for being the main culprit of the death of this young man. He said here, I worked at Georgia plant in Taylorsville. The guy who killed Rasheem Carter is 39-year-old Stephen Luke Clements. His address is 711 Dr. Parker Road, Pleasant Hill, North Carolina. His cell phone number is this, right? So listen, I don't have any proof of what he's saying, but he said that he's speaking with so much conviction, and he's saying this guy's responsible. So you see, when it comes onto things like this, Our people gotta be we gotta be ready for whatever, man. Cause these people when they go out to harm us, they're not giving us. They're not trying to reach any resolution. They're not trying to talk to us. They're not trying to be reasonable. They're out to destroy us, man. Like I said, the Bible said the devil is like a roaring lion, seeking whose souls he may devour. So when you got these wifey devils out here trying to destroy and just out here to inflict harm on our people gotta come back. We gotta come back with fire, man. We gotta take these devils out. Don't let them take you out. Take them out first, and you live to fight another day. The legal system is gonna convict you and say that you're guilty of M. You know what? Even though you was in the right to defend yourself, but at least you live to fight another day, man. Because I don't want to. None of these dogs. So, like I said, thank God I don't live in one of these sundown town states. I don't really have to worry about this. But I am considering getting my license to carry. Because I think about it. I'm like, if I'm gonna move out of the state eventually, right? I live up northeast, but I wanna move more down south. And I'm like, if I move to one of these southern states, I'm definitely gonna have to get my license to carry, and I gotta make sure I fully arm and protect myself, because you just never know what to expect in these states, man. But like I said, man, justice for these two young black men and women, justice for Rasheem Carter, and justice for this young lady, Tasia Fortune. It's just unfortunate that they lost their life in this type of way. And you see, we speak out against this stuff, and we're talking, we're trying to do this thing the right way. But there comes a time when you just say, I'm tired of this. It's like when I'm speaking and trying to do this, I'm trying to do this peacefully, but nothing is being done to make sure that our people get justice. I think people are going to crash out. They're going to be like, all right, I'm going to take matters into my own hand. We're going to go out there and we're going to try to look for these racist devils. And we're gonna fight fire with fire. It's gonna get ugly, man. Cause they think that we're soft targets. That's why they're going after these individuals, and they think our race is gonna sit down and take the abuse. Nah, they got some soldiers. We got some soldiers in our race, and they try to incite so-called race war. But I don't think that's gonna happen, because at the end of the day, Jesus is in control of everything, and God is not gonna allow something like that to, even though we live in the end times, but God's chosen people are not going to be harmed. So I just think that this is happening in certain states, but black people that live in these southern states, they have to start getting armed and ready. Be prepared, because these people are out here trying to harm our people, man. They're trying to harm our people. It's sick and disgusting. Let's see what Ben Crump have to say about this young woman. Let's see.
Tasia Fortune cases share of this BET News. Let's get into it. First up, a Tasia Fortune update. The 29-year-old mother of four was found hanging from a tree behind a vacant house in Jackson, Mississippi, and her family has now retained attorney Benjamin Crump. Yes, the same lawyer representing Nolan Mills' family, and he is demanding a thorough investigation, as he does. And if there is even a tiny morsel of an issue with Tasia's family hiring Crump, well, how about this? 3 of Nolan Wells' friends hired Edward Andrew Paltzit, who has represented Donald Trump in high-profile legal matters. Police are investigating Tasia's death, and even though she was found hanging so high, firefighters needed a ladder to get her down. Police have not said whether or not they suspect foul play. Next up, a friend of Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner, has launched a GoFundMe with a $150,000 goal to support Warner and her 9-year-old daughter following Malcolm's untimely death. If you remember...
Okay, that's a whole different topic. But as you see this, right? They found her body hung so high in the tree. There's no way possible that she did this to herself. They had to use they said the firefighter had to use a ladder to reach her body, and now they trying to use our ex-boyfriend as a scapegoat and saying he's responsible for her being hanged from the tree. He said he had nothing to do with that. He played no involvement in her being hacked. So you already know it's not him. It has to be one of these racist white folks out here committing these acts. And they're so quick to say, "Oh man, she did it to herself and all this stuff." There's no way she could hang herself that high. That when you have to use a ladder to reach her body, come on now, come on now. The mom said that her daughter would never harm herself. I've seen videos of her like going live on, I think, Instagram and stuff like that, and she had Brazilian in her name. She always had positive things to say about herself, and she never gave me the indication that she was someone that was depressed and, wanted to harm herself and all that stuff. No, that's not the impression I got from that woman. That woman was a very positive individual, and like I said, she's not originally from the state of Mississippi. She was visiting friends to celebrate Juneteenth Day, and I think that was them going after us because of us celebrating Juneteenth Day, and they go after a soft target. They go after somebody that wasn't with anyone else and couldn't defend herself. So let's be a lesson, man. We gotta be prepared for what's to come. There will probably be signs of struggle that they aren't releasing to the public. Exactly, Uber, you're exactly right, Uber. There's definitely signs of struggles that would have been evident, but they refuse to not release it. In fact, that's a pattern with the state of Mississippi. You see, when it comes down to transparency, they don't want to give any information to the public on any type of results they get from the medical examiner, like any autopsy they report or any type of incident like report. They keep everything secretive. They won't release nothing to the public, and that's what they're doing with the Nolenswell case. They have the final results of the autopsy, and they're not releasing it to the public. So the Mississippi is known for doing that. They're known to keep all this information hidden, and they don't give no information about the autopsy report. So yeah, I won't be surprised if that's the case. That's you could do. That's another thing too, right? This is why I know there's a nefarious act going on with the state of Mississippi when it comes on to our people getting justice. They could do more thorough investigation. Do residue on the hand, do DNA testing and everything. See if there's any signs of struggle, because the body will tell signs that there's struggle that have happened. But they don't want to do that. They automatically rule it off as accidental, self-inflicted, and they send the body straight to the medical examiner. And the sheriff department, they don't do no investigation thoroughly to figure out, okay, do we see any video footage that that could be used as evidence? Because there's cameras everywhere. So the fact they don't find no video footage, they're not even look into seeing if they could find any video footage within the surrounding areas to figure out what has happened to this. If there's any suspicious activity that can be used as evidence to determine who's responsible for unaliving this young woman. This tells me, these racist mobs of white folks, they have a direct tie with the police department, man. They're all involved with each other, man. The police, the sheriff, the district attorney, the governor, they all in cahoots with one another, man. But God don't like ugly, and God is gonna bring justice to my people. And I say, if these people don't want to come forward and be honest, God is gonna send fire and brimstone on the state of Mississippi, and these people are gonna suffer terribly, because God said, "Vengeance is mine." So what I know, in one way or the other, justice is gonna come, and my people is gonna get justice. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I know I'm protected by the Most High, so the enemy can't come near me and do any harm to me. I'm protected by the Most High. And so, our people, we got to stay prayed up. We got to stay prayed up, because the devil is out here busy, man. He's working overtime. And I know there's a demonic involvement. There's a demonic aspect of it. Because when I had this vision, I knew there's an actual demonic spirit that's racist. And it would say some vile stuff out of his mouth some of the stuff this demonic what spirit was saying, I couldn't even say it. It was so foul, it was so disgusting. And I said, whoa, so there is something attached to these people that's demonic that allows these people to be racist. But God is revealing things to me like that slowly. I've been getting these visions and stuff like that. And I'll be asking questions, and I'll be asking. I'm like, why are these people so hateful? Why are these people so racist? And I had a vision of there's an actual demon that's racist that speak all these racist things, and it says some of the stuff he's saying. It's saying I can't even compare. It's like you can't even compare it to what people say on. It's beyond comprehension. Like it's some of the most. I can't find no words to describe it. Some of the things that it's saying is like the most foul and this derogatory and disgusting things. And I'm like, there's a demon attached to racist people. There's a demon that's attached to these folks. So I know there's a spiritual aspect of it. But let's see. Let's play this other video. Let's play this other video. I'm about to wrap this video up real soon.
Black people.
Listen to this video. I like this guy's video.
So when we hear that a sister was, hey man, wait a minute. Instantly, our minds say, hey man, some white people done hung this sister. Some white supremacists, some white racist people done hung this sister. Now, if you are not African American, you probably would say, well, how do y'all come up with that when you don't even have no actual factual evidence? Well, it has a lot to do with actual factual evidence, and I understand what you're saying if you're not African American, but it's just the African American experience in America that tells us, hey man, these people did it. You see what I'm saying? Instantly, these people did it. Because even though, we have our problems in the African American community, I have never heard, of a brother or a sister, hanging a brother or a sister. Now, we might fight, shoot, stab, scratch, wrestle, all that. But I have never, and I mean, I could be wrong. Y'all get in the comments and y'all correct. I have never heard of a group of brothers or a group of sisters gathering and saying, hey man, we finna hang this nigga. Excuse my language. I have never. So when we hear that a sister was hung down in Mississippi, the hanging capital of the United States of America, hey, our assumptions get to just, our spider senses get to kicking in. We get to assuming and speculating. Hey, man, wait a minute. Is they doing this again? You see what I'm saying? And not only that, though, because from the understanding that I'm getting from this sister, this 29-year-old sister, rest in peace to her and condolences to her family. For those of you who pray for strength, understanding, and courage for her family. She wasn't that type. She loved life. She wasn't that type that would, go ahead and get herself up out of here. She wasn't that type. She loved life. She had 4 kids to live for. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, though, right? This right here what just kind of like blew my mind about the whole thing, y'all. Usually when people, take their lives like that, because people do, we can't sugarcoat that. People do take their lives in that fashion. Usually when they do that, they, put something around their neck and, they stand up on the chair or something and then they kick that away from under them and then, it happens. Right? I don't want to be saying what it is because, YouTube, the algorithm and stuff, they be tripping like that. I don't want to, that's why I'm trying to be careful with my words. But, they kick the chair off from up under them and then it happens, right? But this wasn't the case, right? It wasn't like that. They are saying that they found this sister behind a condemned house. And she was so far up in a tree, hanging, that they had to call the fire department. Do you hear me? They had to call the fire department to use the ladder from the fire truck to get her down. Check it out.
Okay, Christina, thanks. The Hinds County coroner has identified the woman found hanging from a tree behind a Jackson home this week, and it's a case that's now drawing even more attention.
That's right. A city council member says federal authorities need to step in. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams explains what he's asking for and why he says the investigation needs more eyes on it.
A young woman found hanging from a tree in the backyard of a vacant house in West Jackson has been identified as Tasia. The coroner says the 29-year-old woman had been suspended from the tree 3 to 4 days before someone discovered the remains Monday night. According to City Councilman Kenneth Stokes, the Jackson Fire Department had to use a ladder truck to remove Fortune's body from the tree.
That means she was high in the air. What kind of inhumane person will hang somebody in that manner? Everywhere you go, they talking about that hanging. I don't care where you go, the grocery store, to get something to eat, people talking about that hanging.
The Jackson Police Department hasn't been talking about its investigation of the hanging other than a late Monday night social media post. JPD has been so tight-lipped, they haven't even sent out a press release.
Once upon a time, a press release would have come out quickly because of the sensitive nature of hangings in Mississippi.
Councilman Stokes is worried. That's why he sent a letter to the U.S. Attorney's Office asking for help about the incident on Road of Remembrance. In his letter, Stokes says he wants federal authorities to assist police finding Fortune's killer and why they strung her body up in a tree.
Hangings in the world of Mississippi, when you think of Emmett Till and others, it's a bad word. So surely somebody should say something.
Reporting from Jackson, Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
A JPD spokesman says the case remains an active investigation.
Now, before I continue, allow me to say this right here, right? Because I don't want y'all to get me wrong about the state of Mississippi. There are some good people in Mississippi, white and black, good people down there. Not racist. I'm talking about, you got interracial relationships and stuff like that. There are good people in Mississippi. Just like there are good people throughout the United States of America. But we would be a fool to think that there are not bad people still living in Mississippi or anywhere in the United States of America, because there are. And we would be a fool to think that there are no longer any racist people in Mississippi or throughout the United States of America. You see what I'm saying? We would be a fool to think like that. So we hood educated, not lame related. We ain't no fools. Now, just like the brother Stokes said, the police ain't came out with a press conference. The police ain't said nothing. You see? Now, the reason why this strikes me is because of this right here, y'all. During the time when they were just running rampant down there in Mississippi, the police was helping the Ku Klux Klans and other white supremacists and stuff like that kill black people.
Yeah.
Look, the police will arrest a brother or a sister, put him in the county jail illegally, and then here come the Ku Klux Klans or the racist mob, and the police will just sit back and won't do nothing. Let the racist mob walk into the county jail, grab the brother or the sister out the county jail, and then leave and say, hey, man, it was too many of them. It was nothing I could do. And that would be that. So for them not to be, investigating or not even coming out with a press conference and saying, hey, look, man, this is the worst thing that happened. Look, don't worry about it. The neighborhood is clear. You ain't got to worry about, this is an isolated incident. None of that.
But it's not an answer. Oh, man, this is where he messed up. He was hitting the bullet point he was hitting it. But he messed up on saying this, them gonna come out and say this is an isolated incident. We see throughout history, and we see it recently, none of these cases are isolated incidences. Do you guys agree with me that these are not isolated incidences? Because I see a pattern. I don't know about you, but I see a pattern. We've seen countless stories of young black men and women that have been found hung from a tree and in similar fashion. and we're saying, oh wait, no, wait a second, this is not some freak accident, or this is not self-inflicted. No, there's a clear pattern of these white supremacist group, racist mobs going after these soft targets of black folks. This is not this is not an isolated incident. You see what I'm saying? They want us to think that this is a isolated incident, when no, this is what they do to try to keep her guard down, because they want us to feel, okay, there's only one in a blue moon that you hear these stories. No, like, this is happening more often. What about the stories that don't get reported in the news? Like, what about stories that we never hear about? Bro, that's going on in the state of Mississippi. So these are not isolated incidents. You got racist mobsters out here in the state of Mississippi and other sundown states that are going out and performing these militia assignments where they're going after lone black folks. They're like, yo, we're gonna catch a nigger tonight. You know what I'm saying? And they do this at certain times when it's like there's not a lot of people on the road, and it's like they go after soft targets, bro. And have you noticed that these two innocent young black man and woman that was found hung from the tree, they were found in the middle of nowhere, like in like some type of abandoned building and in the middle of the forest, and where there's no eyes around, there's people not around, so they know exactly what they're doing. So these are not isolated incidents. These people are very aware of what they're doing, and they're very calculated. So we got to be aware. This is what they will try to make us believe, oh, this is just a one-time thing. And you see, when it comes onto these racist white folks that do these things, they're being seen as individual and not a collective. It's not an isolated incident. This is a collective thing that's being done. It's a collective thing. It's not an isolated incident. But let's go back and watch the video, bro. He's wrong about that, man. If they had a press conference and they say, oh, this is an isolated incident, I would be upset. I'll be like, hell no, this is not an isolated incident. We could clearly see there's a pattern of our people being lynched in these very suspicious ways. And we can't rule it out as, oh, we're not going to say this is not, there's no foul play involved. No, there is clear evidence that there's foul play involved. But they don't want to look into it. They don't want to investigate these incidences and do their due diligence that they're supposed to do as member of law enforcement. Because they're in cahoots with these KKK groups, with these racist white groups. So they're in bed with them, man. So that's why they're able to do this stuff and get away with it. But let's go back and play this video.
You see? And that's normal practice for the police department. To come to the public and say, hey, listen, check this out. This is an isolated incident. You guys don't have to worry about anything. Or if it's not, hey, look, check this out. Lock your doors. Okay? Walk 2s and 3s. If you got to conceal to carry your firearm. We got a maniac on the loose hanging people. Y'all see what I'm saying? But they ain't doing none of that. They ain't saying none of that. And that just that just makes us think from our African-American experience in the United States of America, it makes us think like, man, hold on, wait a minute. And and people that's not African-American, they be like, man, y'all always complaining, y'all always look at what's happening.
That's not true. Because I'm not technically African-American, but I stand with the injustice that's been done to my people. I don't care about whether I am African American. I don't like titles, bro. And there's another thing too. I gotta make a separate video going at not like I don't have any issues against FBAs. Do you guys know what FBA stands for? And by the way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification. But if you guys don't know what FBA stands for, or let me know. Let me know if you guys know what FBA stands for. Because this is another topic I gotta address. Because another thing about that group, I stand with my FBA brothers and sisters, but there's a lot of hate that come from that group, and I gotta address it because there's certain things I need to address when it comes onto how, you see, I've seen these channels, man, a lot of these people, and they have a right to find something you don't know. Okay, FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. Now, I do agree that Black Americans have created the foundation for this country because through slavery, they've made a lot of money off of the hard work of Black slaves, and Black Americans have I've created this country, and through the backs of through their hard work and through their blood, sweat, and tears, they built this country up to where it is right now. So America wouldn't be nowhere if it wasn't for Foundation Black Americans with their inventions, and ideas and stuff. And I agree with that. And I also agree that because of them fighting against injustice, they're the one that allowed other race or ethnic group to have civil rights, because they fought against oppression during the civil rights era. So I have support for my so-called FBA brothers and sisters. But the issue that I have, this is a whole different video I might have to address, is that there's a lot of hate amongst the group of people, because it's like, if you're not born in America, if you don't come directly from America, right? Let's say your parents were immigrants, but you're a citizen. They have a word that they call you that's very offensive. That's like literally calling almost the same. It's a racial slur. Do you guys know what that word they use to describe somebody that is coming from that is like that is not born from America? That's like a foreigner. And it's a Black person they address this as. They don't address any other race of people as this. They may address other people, but they address mainly the Black people that come from other countries that are not born in America. Do you know what that term means? What term they use to describe those people that come from other countries? Because it's a very offensive word, and that's when I kind of start distancing myself from that FBA community, because I used to rock with these people. I used to speak out against racial injustice, and I still do, and I stand strong with my people when it comes on to injustice. But I can't really associate myself with that group of people because there's a lot of hatred coming on. I'm not saying there's all of them are like this, but I've come across so many of them that it kind of makes me not want to associate myself with those people. Like, I stand with their struggles, I stand with their fight against white supremacy and injustice and all this stuff, but they have a term to describe people that are not born in America that are Black, and they use this term called tethers. If anybody ever heard of the word tether before? Because it's a very offensive word they use to describe Black people that are foreigners. And I thought maybe they were going after people that were speaking against, African American, so-called the ADOS Black community, or people that like bring these like stereotypes that they think about Black people as being lazy and stuff like that. But when I started like looking more into it, and I started watching the videos and how they address us as people, and how they address black people that come from other countries, they always use that term, and I'm like, they're not making a distinguish between, they're not making a difference between those who come from other countries that look down on Black Americans versus people who travel to America. I mean, they may come from another country, or their parents might be immigrants, but they're not speaking down on Black Americans. They're standing firm with Black Americans. But yeah, they use the term tether, and they're like, this is that's how they address Black people that are foreigners. That's basically calling Black people the N-word. So whenever you come from another country, and even if you stand with the fight against white supremacy and injustice against Black people, the fact that you're not born in America, and they say you are not, you don't have parents that come from America, they automatically see you as a tether, man. And they say, we can't, we need to delineate from people like you. So after I experienced that, I kind of distanced myself from these folks. I'm like, these people are a very hateful group of people. And like I said, not all of them are like this, because I don't want to group them all in the same category. but there's a good amount of people within the FBA community that thinks like this, and they address people that are black that come from other countries. If they come from the Caribbean, and they come from South America, and I'm not talking about Hispanic, I'm talking about black folks. If they're coming from Africa, you name it, they call them tethers. And I'm like, so you group all of us as the same? So you're not even looking at as, oh, it's an individual thing. You're just seen as collectively we are known as tethers. It's a very offensive term. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that term before, but if you watch any FBA content, foundational Black American content, they are so quick to label black foreigners as tethers. They don't even make the difference, right? They don't even say, okay, we only address tethers or people that come to this country with a white supremacist, like they uphold certain white supremacist ideologies. Like they look down on Black Americans and they see them as lazy and they think that Black Americans don't contribute to this country and they don't play no role in making this country great. So like they don't make that distinction. Like they automatically put everyone in the same bucket. And I had this happen to me because I used to watch this YouTuber, right? And I always rock with this YouTuber, supported this YouTuber, send donations to this YouTuber channel. I'm not gonna name names and all that stuff. But there's this one time in this video, he was making this, addressing this topic, and they start talking about Jamaicans and stuff like that, or Caribbeans, and saying that these people come from these other countries are like tethers. And I said, okay, I live in the States most of my life. I'm an American citizen. So do you see me as a tether? Because somebody in the comment section was saying, oh, you're not one of us because you're not from America. And I said, well, I was born in Jamaica, but I live in the States sometimes longer than these so-called folks that call themselves foundational Black Americans. So you can't tell me I don't understand the Black American culture. I live in the States for a long time, and I stand strong with my Black Americans. Like against the struggle against white supremacy, I speak out against it, right? And then somebody went in the comment section and attacked me and say, well, you're not one of us, and how can you claim that you're this when you come from this country, and like basically referred to me the so-called offensive term as tether. So I started saying to myself, if these are the way they act and how they treat people, I can't associate myself with these folks, because they're being very almost like, I can't even say Black folks can be racist because the system of white supremacy, they're being prejudiced towards Black people that are coming from other countries. They see them as tethers. So I'm like, that's the problem I have with these so-called FBAs. It's like if you come from another country and you're Black, they automatically view you as a tether, which is very offensive. That's like calling a Black person the N-word. And before, they used to make the difference between what is a so-called tether versus an actual, but now they group all of us under the same umbrella. And they repeat the same thing over and over again. So I kind of distance myself from those folks, because I'm like, there's a race. They're like they're hateful. They're a hateful set of people. So anyways, going back to the video, I just want to address that, to go into detail about what I said, because you guys never heard that term. I'm putting you guys up on games because I'm in the YouTube streets. I'm up. Trust me, I am very privy, or I'm very aware of what's going on in the Black community, in the Black YouTube sector. There's the FBA community is very strong within the Black community, Black YouTube sector. But that's like, the group is kind of dying off. Not that dying off, but they kind of like not as relevant as it was, because like I'm distancing myself. I'm like, wait, so even if I support FBAs and I fight alongside with them when it comes on to white supremacy and racism and the injustice against our people. Like, look, I'm speaking out against atrocious acts that has been done to Black Americans. I don't think these are foreigners, but even if they are, it wouldn't matter to me, right? But there's a good chance these are Black Americans, right, that were viciously lynched and killed in the manner in which they have been found, right? I'm speaking out against this. If I and but you see the people that align with this FBA community, they would see me as a terror, which like I said, is a very offensive thing to call somebody. That's like calling somebody the N word. It's a racial slur. So, anyways, let's go back to the video because I want to finish the video and then I'm gonna wrap this video up.
If this right here, if a person was found hanging in a white community, a white person in a tree so high that they got to go get the fire truck to cut them down, do y'all think that it would be a police conference? Hey, look, like, oh, wait a minute. Guys, calm down. Lock your doors. Y'all see the difference? So this is why African American people always complain and we always, because we got a bad experience. Now, look, rest assured that we can't say that our experience here was all bad because look how far we done came. You see what I'm saying? Look where we at right now. So we have good experience, but we'll be a damn fool to forget about the history of our experience in America. You see? And I encourage all brothers and sisters, don't be paranoid, schizophrenic, but look, don't forget about the criminal history of America because they ain't gonna forget about yours. So, the councilman, Brother Stokes, bring the feds in, because this is abnormal. People don't get found hanging in trees far up like that. He calling for the feds, and this is a councilman down there in Mississippi. So that should tell you something, that if the councilman down there, Brother Stokes, if he believed that the feds should be involved, that tells me that he doesn't have confidence in the police department down there. You see what I'm saying? He don't have full confidence in them. He believe in his mind that, wait a minute, y'all might cover something up. We need the feds to come down here and figure this out because y'all ain't gonna do the job like the feds will do it. So that speaks volumes to me. I don't know about y'all. Get in the comments and let me know. I don't know about y'all, but that speaks volumes to me that they.
I'm gonna add on to that. I don't trust the feds that they're gonna do what's necessary to get to the bottom of what's going on. It's to be because that's what they call on the feds. Similar with the Nolan Wells incident, and the feds ruled it as accidental drowning. So I don't really trust the feds, especially when they are part of the Trump administration. Even though I align more with Republicans than I do Democrats, I would never vote Democrat a day in my life because I don't vote blue no matter who, and the Democrats they don't pass laws that benefit us as black people. So that's a whole different topic for another day. But I don't trust the feds, man. You think these people are gonna do what's right? You see, when it comes onto our people getting justice, you cannot trust that the system is gonna do what's necessary to make sure that our rights are being advocated for. Because the system of white supremacy is designed literally to support white people at the detriment of black folks. And that's why black people cannot be racist. Because we don't stand to benefit from the system of white supremacy. We don't stand to benefit from the laws, from the society as a whole when it comes on to our people getting justice, when it comes on to fair treatment and equal rights and opportunities. We don't benefit from the system. So how can black people be racist? We can be prejudiced. We could be hateful. Like, we could be hateful towards white folks, but we can't be racist, man. We don't benefit from the system. So, like, I'm quick to make that distinguish this. And you're a Republican? I'm not a Republican. I'll just vote based on what party has the best policy. I'm not Republican, but I align more with their policy than the Democrat. So yes, I voted Republican. Yes, I did. Even though I don't align myself with no party. I go based on the policy that policy that is the best fit for the black community. At the end of the day, I'm advocating. I want to make sure that my people is being advocated for. You get what I'm saying? You said both parties have it in for the common man. Yeah. You see, if my cuz is in the chat, is in the chat, he would say it's basically two 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 wings of the same bird. I forgot what he exactly said. And I do agree, right? There's no perfect side fit all equation, but you got to go with either one because at the end of the day, one of the parties is going to win. There's no way you could deny it. Like, that's why I kind of like, I don't understand people who say I don't vote. There's no purpose of voting. Because I'm like, either way, somebody's going to be elected, either the Democrat or the Republican. But one thing I know is the Republican, Donald Trump is a far better fit for the job than Kamala Harris will ever be. Because what Donald Trump did was that he closed the border and he prevented influx of illegal immigration from taking, because the country was basically at this point where it was getting very, very like chaotic. You got over what 15 to 20 or more illegal immigrants that already came into the country. You said left wing, right wing is the same bird. I said it with neither of them. Okay, see, I agree. It's the same bird, but you got to pick the two less of. You got to pick the one of the lesser evil, right? So I'm like, I'd rather go with Trump than Kamala Harris because if Kamala, picture this, if Kamala Harris was in office, she would have kept the borders wide open, which means you would have had millions upon millions upon millions of illegal immigrants that would have been bushwork. They would have been running through the borders by the busload, and they would have been given free benefits, free housing, free medical, free dental, and she was going to work on getting them citizenship. So you think about it, that would directly affect the black community. You see what happened in the state of Chicago? Bro, people were having an uproar because these illegal immigrants were getting all these benefits and opportunities over the black citizens. And they had a press conference about this. And they're trying to, the black folks were like, what's going on? Yeah, you're dumping these people in our community, and they're having all these benefits, and black people are getting kicked to the side. And they're like, wait, what's going on? All this money is going towards helping these people. They don't pay no taxes. They didn't come to this country the illegal way, and they were getting freebies. And in this press conference, you got this Hispanic migrant. What? I'm gonna address that comment where you said Uber, because that's definitely not true, bro. It's not blown out of proportion, man. I'm gonna address that comment because this is why the Bible said, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge," and our people are so. That's the issue with our people. I'm not saying this is true across the board. The only thing I'm trying to generalize here, but the difference between our people is that we vote against our best interests. We vote for policies that don't benefit us. So when you think about the illegal immigrants, so these people coming into the border, they are, you don't know where these people come from. You don't know what their background is. You don't know what their criminal history is. A lot of these people are part of gang members and Trinder. You know that there was the issue got out of hand with Trinder Aragua because these illegals that were coming from Venezuela, they're part of these gangs, and they started their numbers just started growing out of control to the point where in Chicago, basically, the numbers kind of even out, and a lot of these gangs like the black gangs in Chicago were warring against the Hispanic gangs of Trinder Aragua, and when the situation got so out of hand, the black people started having protests about this and say, why they dumping all these illegals? Because the thing was going on was the state of Texas was just sending these people, these illegals in these buses and sending them to sanctuary states like Chicago and Georgia and all these different places where they accepted, New York City, right, where they accepted illegals. And Chicago was just getting a shit ton of them. And they were dumping them in black communities. They weren't dumping them in Asian communities. They weren't dumping them in white communities. They were dumping them in black communities. So black people were the ones that were being directly impacted by this illegal immigration thing. And it became so bad because these folks were getting all these benefits, free housing, free Medicare, free dental. and black people were struggling to pay their bills. And they're like, wait, why these people are getting all these benefits and we are the ones that are paying taxes? It's not right. And so black people started speaking out against it. And then I remember this press conference with Mayor, whatever that mayor, that sellout guy is. He was given millions upon millions of money out of taxpayer dollars to help fund the life of these migrants. Because, you know, you got to house them, you got to feed them, and they're bringing their kids too as well. And on top of that, they're dumping millions of anchor babies. You know how many babies these Hispanic migrants have, bro? You don't see the actual. You don't see how many kids. All right, you see the birthright citizenship was not meant for illegals to come into the country and dump anchor babies for their rights of birthright citizenship. This is why I stand with my so-called foundational Black Americans against the fight against illegal immigration, because it not only affect them, but it affect anybody who did it the right way. They didn't jump the border, they didn't hop over the border and got all these benefits. No, they play by the rules. So what I'm trying to say is, you had millions upon millions of illegal immigrants that were just bum rushing the border, right? And when they come into the country, they're dumping millions upon millions of anchor babies, and these babies become citizens because of birthright citizenship, and their numbers like grew so fast. Remember, black people were once the majority when it comes on to the minority race, right? But in just a couple years, Hispanic people are the majority minority race now. Their numbers jump so quickly because what they have a lot of kids. I'm being just straight up honest. This is why it actually saved us that Trump got into office. Because what Trump did is that he immediately started closing the border, right? And then he started deporting these folks that were illegal. Especially these people that were part of the Chinder Awago gang. They were getting out of control. They were doing all type of crazy, like, beheadings, and these people are vicious. They're worse than any Chicago gangs in Chicago. The Chinder Awaga gang were more vicious and more ruthless than the Chicago gang in Chicago. And so their numbers were getting out of control. And on top of that, they were getting all these benefits. They were eventually going to overpopulate America. So what I'm saying, you see what I'm saying? You agree with now? You see what I'm saying? So Trump was the best fit for the job. Trump was the best fit for the job, Uber. And Trisha, you gotta get off the Democratic plantation. You got to get off the Democratic plantation, because Kamala Harris would have destroyed the black community. She wasn't gonna do anything to to support the black community. She was gonna keep the borders wide open. She was gonna allow these illegals that already came into the country, right, to get citizenship. And you know they're gonna vote for policies that benefit them. It's not gonna benefit anything in regards to us. Our people are gonna struggle. Our people are gonna be fighting against all this stuff. So I'm not saying Trump is perfect by any means, but he was a better fit for the job. And she's not black. She claimed that she's black, but her father is like from India or something like that. She only used black for identity politics. That's why she had a lot of black women that voted for her in mass numbers. Like, I think over 92% of black women, like around 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. So no, she's not black. No, she's not black. So think about it. Trump, as bad as he was, he has his issues. He's fair share. He's not perfect by any means. He has his fair share of issues. But Trump was a far better fit for the job as a president. And also, you don't want the country to be under woman rulership. Imagine Kamala Harris going to meetings with Putin, with these egomaniacs like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. You think Kim Jong-un and Putin is going to be intimidated by Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris trying to trying to give orders and trying to direct. They're going to laugh in her face. Trump, you can't play with Trump like that, because Trump is a man at the end of the day, and he's a far better leader than Kamala Harris will ever be. God said it's not designed. The Bible said that I instruct a woman not to be in leadership roles. The Bible speaks against that. A woman not supposed to lead. Our father's not black, bro. I'm telling you, man. Our when you look at our grandparents, they're not black. She claimed she only used the identity of being black so that she could get votes from the black community. But when they asked her, are you gonna do anything to help support the black community? Or am I gonna do nothing for the black community? No. I'm not gonna do nothing for the black community. No. She wasn't gonna do anything for the black community, man. She was only gonna do things to support Hispanic illegal migrants, bro. And they were gonna, you know what they were trying to do? This is why I noticed my black people are not, as a whole, we don't think militantly. They were eventually gonna replace us with the Hispanic community. Because remember, these people are having a lot of kids. Their population grow faster than us, and they don't abort their babies. But black women do abort their babies in mass numbers. So eventually, these historic black communities are going to be overpopulated with these Hispanic migrants, and they're going to turn America into Mexico. You're gonna, all right. Look in these deep southern states in the deep south, like California. Look at Southern California. Huge, like their population blew up quick because of illegal immigration. And they dumped millions upon millions of anchor babies. And they anchor babies, you know, some of them join gangs. But they eventually having more kids on top of that. So they start outgrowing the black communities. And they started like gatekeeping jobs, gatekeeping their communities. You couldn't go certain places in Southern California as a black person. You know that, right? As a black person, you know that you can't go to certain places in Southern California because you got them Hispanic gangs that will run up on you and ask you where are you from and all that stuff. They gatekeep their communities, bro. And you know these people don't advocate for anything for us. You know that at one point they fought to be legally white. I don't know why we as people try to advocate for a group of people that don't have our best interests in mind, and they see us as competitions for jobs, competitions for you see, once they get their numbers up, that means they get political power, and when they get political power, they fight for laws that benefit their own people, at the detriment of the black community. We're so quick to fight for the rights of other people when these people could care less about us. Why don't we put our people first instead of looking to support other people that don't fight for anything to benefit us as people? We gotta think deeper than that, man. You said Yahweh had women in leadership. Why are you talking about? The Bible even explicitly. Let's read the scripture right now because I don't know where you get this thing from. Deborah is that's not a good example, man. The Bible said I appoint a man for it says a woman not supposed to instruct a man. Let's read the scripture because it's not in the nature for women to lead. All right, let's see. Let's see what the Bible says about women being in leadership. Woman. Anybody can find that scripture when it says a woman not supposed to teach in the church? There's a scripture in the Bible that states that a woman not supposed to teach in the church. And he says yearly border crossings were about 30,000 a year, and they per capita committed fewer crimes than the average American. That's not true. That's not true, bro. These people, you know, we call those groups of people what's the group in Mexico that's called, they're trafficking all type of drugs like cocaine, fentanyl, weed, what's the name of that man? I'm forgetting stuff, man. That's why many people didn't vote. Okay. They were a prophetess. All right, look. This is what the Bible said about women teaching. 1 Timothy 2 verse 12 says, I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Authority over a man. Authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. The Bible is very explicit about a woman, and that she should remain quiet. It didn't say it grant permission for a woman to be in any leadership role. It says, I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. You cannot read. There's no way you could read that and not get what it's saying. A woman not supposed to be in no leadership role. It's not in her nature to be in any leadership role because they're emotional. They can't think logical about this stuff. That's why men are better suited to go to war, because we are more likely to lay our life down to protect. God designed us to be protectors. It's not in the context of the congregation, though. It's talking about in general, not just in the context of the congregation. It says a woman not supposed to be in authority over a man in any situation. She's not supposed to be in an authority position over a man. Let's read the full chapter, because one thing I like to do, I like to read the full chapter to get the full context of what the scripture is saying. And the Bible is very specific with what it's saying. It's not using up no metaphors. It's very direct in what it's saying. It says, a woman should learn in quietness and full submission. Verse 11, right? Verse 11 says, a woman should learn in quietness and full submission. It says, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assert authority over a man. She must remain quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. God said Adam came before Eve. Eve was made from the rib of Adam. So Adam came first. So Eve is under submission of the man. So women are not supposed to be in a leadership position over men. Don't get me wrong. You got some women that are great leaders in certain situations in society. But in general, right? It's not in their nature to be leaders. Men are designed to be leaders. Men are designed to protect. Men are designed to lead and direct. That's the way God designed it to be. So let's continue with the scripture, because it's simple. What I'm saying is literally straightforward. It shouldn't be complicated to understand what the Bible is saying. It says here, and Adam was not the one deceived. It was the woman who was deceived and became a sinner. Who was the one that took up the forbidden fruit first? It was Eve. It wasn't Adam. Who convinced Adam to eat the forbidden fruit? It was Eve. It wasn't the serpent. You know that it was Eve that convinced Adam to eat of the forbidden fruit, not the serpent. And you know that the serpent did not convince Adam to eat of the forbidden fruit. Come on, man. Because women, like the way women are not speaking to that, right? They're emotional, right? So if you could speak to them in their ear and you could get their emotions going, you could manipulate them into doing things. That's why I said it would have been a disaster for Kamala Harris to be in office as president, because all it takes is for Putin and Kim Jong-un, one of them to like speak good things in their ear, and she will believe them. But see, with Trump, they can't bullshit Trump. They can't, say this and that. Trump don't play none of that crap. So Trump is a far better leader. I'm not saying he's perfect by any means, but he's a far better leader than Kamala Harris will ever be. And so let's continue with the scripture. Because you guys, I don't understand why people overcomplicate things and make things more than what it actually is, when the Bible is very clear and specific on what it's saying. A woman should learn in quietness and full submission. Women in general supposed to be in submission. They're not supposed to exert authority over men. The Bible said, I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must remain quiet. Because Adam was made first, then Eve. 1 second, I gotta take a little water break. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I know you guys hate Trump, but come on, man. Let's be logical here. Let's be logical here. I'm back. I'm back. You said Trump is evil, like comically evil. So wait, why is it that people like to say Trump is evil? And they just the only reason they use. You said read Judges 4 verse 4 to 5. Okay, let's get to that. Before I get to that, let me finish the scripture here. It says, for Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not the one deceived. It was the woman who was deceived and became a sinner. But women will be saved through childbearing if they continue in faith, love, and holiness with propriety. Okay, let's read the. I don't shy away from this. So you said read Judges. Let's go. Judges 4 verse 4 to 5. I'm not afraid to address any of the stuff that you bring up. It says, let's read it in the full context. Now, you see, people tend to just pick one verse and they don't understand the full context of what the verse, what the whole chapter is saying, and they take things out of context. They don't understand the full context of what's going on. So let's read the whole entire verse from the beginning. Verse 4. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. Now that you did, I can't pronounce some of these words. Ehud was dead. So the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. Sisera, the commander of his army, was based in Hazor-Hath Haggoyim, because he had 900 chariots fitted with iron and had cruelly oppressed the Israelites for 20 years. They cried to the Lord for help. Now Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Lepidith, was leading Israel at the time. Did the Bible say she was in a leadership role? Leading Israel means that she was guiding them. You said, did you remember his first term when he crossed a group of protesters forcibly so he could take a photo of himself holding the Bible backwards and upside down? I remember that, but listen, Trump is not perfect, and I think he may do some things that are questionable. A lot of things. He actually did a lot of things that are questionable. When he said you gonna grab women by the, you know what, I'm like, this dude is kind of crazy. But I'm like, I know he has his faults. I know he has a lot of problems. But one thing about Trump is he's far better fit at this job than Kamala Harris will ever be. Securing the border, 100% Trump. Trump was going to secure the border, and also he was going to destroy, like he was going to get rid of because the fentanyl crisis was getting out of control, man. Hundreds of thousands of Americans were getting killed due to fentanyl overdose, right? Because there are so many people, babies, young kids, were dying of fentanyl. And it's only a small dosage of fentanyl that's required to kill a human. But anyways, before I get back to that, let's address this thing about Deborah, right? She held court under the palm of Deborah between Raham and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim. And the Israelites went up to her to have their disputes decided. She sent for Barak, son of Abinoam from Kadesh, and Naphtali said to him, the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go take with you 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun and lead them up to Mount Tabor. I will lead Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his troops to the Kishon's river and give him into your hands. Okay, this is too long, but I can't read through all of this. But God never once said that he allowed Deborah to exert authority over man. She was a prophet of the wife of this man who was leading Israel at that time, but she wasn't given no leadership. God didn't say he gave her authority to he gave her authority to be in leadership position over a man. God never said that in the scripture. So people be taking things out of context, and I don't see that in the scripture. Anyways, let's continue with the chat. You said he's using his position to enrich himself. He broke bread with the Taliban. He threatens long-standing alliances. He lies with every. Trump is not always honest. I do agree. He's not honest with a lot of things he says. And I do think that also goes into the fact that there's no perfect candidate. I mean, you got to pick the tool of the lesser evil, and I believe Trump is evil. Even though I know he has his faults, I'm saying one thing for sure. That's something that I know for a fact, and I'm not like doubtful of, is that he's going to do a far better job in securing the border. That's the number one thing that I was looking for in the candidate. It's like, who's going to be a better job at securing the border? 100% is going to be Donald Trump, right? Also, foreign policy. Yeah, Trump is kind of like, sometimes he thinks too erratic about things, and he don't plan things before he do it. So that also is a detriment to him as a candidate. But to me, he's far better at foreign policies than Kamala Harris would do. Because, like I said, you can't have a woman be in a leadership position because it's not in her. God don't design it for her. It's not in her nature to be in a leadership position. So can you imagine Kamala Harris being in a meeting with Putin, with Kim Jong-un, with all these dictators, and trying to convince them to stop what they're doing? Nah, they're not going to take her seriously. In fact, that's going to make them feel more emboldened to go out there and do more stuff, man. So yeah, they don't play with Trump like that, because Trump, he stand on business. One second, I lost my Oh wow, what the hell is going on here? Anyways, can you guys hear me? I don't know what I did to my camera. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? What the hell happened to the camera, bro? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me, because my camera went off for some reason. I don't know. Did I press the wrong button or something? Let me know if you guys can hear me. But if not, I can still talk about the situation, because I honestly, to be frank with you, Trump is not the best. I mean, he's not obviously perfect, and I'm not gonna say that he doesn't have any flaws. I'm very honest about these things, bro. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me in the chat? Because my camera went off for some reason. I pressed some button, but I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear me? Okay. All right, cool. So I was just worried because the camera thing went off, but I was going back to what I was saying, because they just went off on a whole different topic, right? And I could make a separate video about why I believe Trump is a way better fit than Kamala Harris. But just thinking about it, it's not in the nature for a woman to be in any leadership position over man. It goes against the word of God. So can you imagine if she was in office? She wouldn't even do the job that's necessary for her to be the president she needs to be, because protecting the country from foreign invaders and domestic terrorism and all this stuff, she wouldn't have did that. She wouldn't did as good job as Trump would do. Like I said, Trump is not perfect, but he's far better fit than Kamala Harris. Anyways, just bringing up the certain points that somebody was bringing up about Deborah, man. The Bible never said Deborah was in any leadership position over man. And I already read the scripture that the Bible explicitly state. It's very specific and direct. It says, I instruct a woman not to be in any leadership position over a man. So the Bible is very, very specific about that. So when you think about it, a woman is not supposed to lead over a man. And so when you think about who was the better fit for the job, 9.9% of the time, 9.9 out of 10, it was Trump over Kamala. Like I said, the number one reason why I voted for Donald Trump, and like I said, I don't align myself with any party. I just go with the party that is better. That would do the better. But right now, from what I've seen, I would never vote Democrat again because they want to keep the borders wide open. They want to allow illegal immigration to keep going on. They're not cracking down on illegal immigration. So I can't vote for Democrats because they always advocate for foreigners, like illegal immigration. They don't want to secure the border. They don't do things to benefit this country. So I would never vote Democrat ever again in my life. I learned my lesson. I voted for Barack Obama, and Barack Obama did nothing for this country except allow the so-called alphabet community agenda to run amok, and he passed gay marriage, and then he also he deported illegals, but at the same time he never secured the border. And during when Trump was in office, more black people were being killed by officers under his rule than any other president in history. So nah, I wouldn't. After that incident and what happened with Biden, I didn't vote for Biden during the first time when he ran against Trump, and that election was rigged in my opinion. But that's a whole different topic for another day. But under a Biden administration, this country was destroyed. It's been an absolute shit show with under a Biden administration with this country, man. The illegal immigration issue got way out of hand. Black Americans were suffering, and taxes, all this stuff was going out of control because they were used to fund the lifestyle of illegals. And at the same time, Biden was just not doing anything to help the country get back on its feet. So yeah, Biden was one of the worst presidents in human history for this country, and he allowed, like, what has Trump done for America? Trump has done a lot of things for Americans. What? You know that Trump has deported over 600,000 Venezuelans, and a lot of these people were part of the Chinjo Awago gang. A lot of these folks that are coming from Venezuela, right, were part of the Chinjo Awago gang, and these people are far worse than any gang in Chicago. They're known for committing all type of very ruthless killings, like beheading, cutting hands, cutting head off, and all type of stuff. And he also stopped the flow of drugs that was coming through the side of the border. Fentanyl is no longer a problem. You know that during the Biden administration, fentanyl was responsible for killing hundreds of thousands of American citizens, even babies. Trump put a stop to that, to the fentanyl overdose issue. Trump put a stop to cocaine trafficking and all that. Don't get me wrong, you can't prevent every single thing from coming through the border, but he secured it way better than Biden. And by him securing the border, you slow down the trafficking of these drugs by a significant margin, right? So you also think about the illegal immigration thing. Trump secured the border and prevented illegal immigration from being the main problem in this country. Because under the Biden administration, he allowed at least 15 illegal immigration to come into this country. And when they come into the country, they dump millions upon millions of anchor babies for the sole right purpose of birthright citizenship. They never fought for any rights for this country. And the birthright citizenship was not made for illegals. It was made for the babies of slaves. Because black Americans fought during the civil rights era so that their kids can have the same right as any white person. And citizenship was supposed to be granted to the babies of these slaves. I don't like to use the slaves because my people was forced against their will into slavery, but let's just say, in that sense, right? That's what the birthright citizenship for. It was not meant for illegals to come into the country and drop millions of anchor babies for the sole right birthright citizenship. They abused that amendment, man. That was not meant for them. How is it fair that you got people that don't play about it, that didn't come through the legal way? They could come to the country and have all these opportunities over the American citizens, like free housing, free dental, all this stuff, free medical. They don't gotta pay the medical, like they don't have to worry about that stuff. Their kids were having free tuition to go to school, while American citizens. There was an incident that happened in New York City, where parents were just furious because they kicked their American citizens. The parents who are American citizens, in New York City, they kicked their kids out of the school and replaced them with the babies of illegals. And they were having free education. They didn't have to pay any money for that. So oh my God, the country would have been far worse if we were under the rulership of a Democratic president. He said people are still dying from drugs. There isn't nothing he can do to stop that. Everything is high now. Shim got no. That's not true. I can literally go up the facts, and this is why I can't go back and forth with these Democrats, these leftists, because I could literally pull up facts that Trump, since he's been in office, he has shut down the border, which has significantly decreased the amount of drugs that have been coming into the country from south of the border, like fentanyl. Let's look up the stats, because I'm not just speaking this out of my ass. One second. I got a drink. Okay. Listen to this. And this is why, when it comes on to talking and trying to reason with people that align with the Democratic Party, it's really hard to kind of like reason with you guys, because you guys, a lot of times you guys are emotional. You guys don't think logical. But I love to address the points that you make, because you said people are still dying from drugs, and obviously you can't prevent every single drugs from not coming south of the border. But under Trump administration, fentanyl related overdose death and border seizures in the U.S. have dropped significantly. Trump has played a pivotal role in creating the decline of fentanyl overdose coming from south of the border. And because of strict border policies, these what do you call those folks? The people are like the mafia, like the Mexican mafia or whatever, that were like smuggling drugs to the border. They were using illegals to smuggle these drugs. They will use them to get these drugs through the southern. They are not able to do that because there's no way. The border has been secure now, so they can't get these drugs out easy as the way they did during the Biden administration. And Trump signed the Halt Fentanyl Act that permanently classified fentanyl as like schedule, like number one drug, because fentanyl was killing a lot of Americans. The drug cartels. Okay, I got it. So he put a sanction on drug cartels as a terrorist organization, as a foreign terrorist organization, and labeled illicit fentanyl precursors as weapon of mass destruction. Because fentanyl, during the Biden administration, was responsible for killing hundreds of thousands of Americans every year. And under Trump administration, he has significantly decreased the number of fentanyl that has been coming south of the border. and the amount of deaths that have been reported as a result of fentanyl has been like decreased dramatically. And he imposed tariffs on countries like China, Mexico, and Canada that enforce these drugs from being smuggled, that basically uphold these drugs from being smuggled from south of the border. So it says here, under Trump, the fentanyl death has decreased significantly. So don't tell me that, oh, same people are still dying from drug overdose. Obviously, like you got people that's still gonna die from drug overdose. You can't prevent every single drugs from not coming. But in terms of the amount of people that have been that were dying under Biden administration compared to Trump due to fentanyl overdose is so much different. It's like night and day. It says fentanyl deaths dropped 22% in a single year, from 48,913 in 2024 to 38,084 in 2025. The total drug overdose death fell 14%, from 81,313 in 2024 to 69,973 in 2025. America recorded its lowest overall death rate ever in 2025, driven in large part by these sharp declines in drug facilities. So Trump started going after the cartels, and including the Trin de Aragua, MS-13, and Sinaloa as foreign terrorist organization, to put a stop to these drugs trafficking and stuff. He put sanctions on them. He seized assets and enhanced certain safety measures to stop their operation from going on. And he signed the HALT Fentanyl Act that permanently classified fentanyl as a Schedule 1 drugs and closed chemical loopholes traffickers use that they used to make the drugs that they've been exploiting for years. And so, yeah, Trump has been doing a great job in slowing down the trafficking of drugs coming south of the border. And, he has decreased, the number of deaths has decreased significantly by 22% in the single year. So I wonder what it would be like in 2026. I'm sure the number has dropped even more. But the fact that the numbers of death have decreased that much tells me it's a is making a difference. I'm wrong. It wasn't hundreds of thousands. It was half of that, 50,000, close to 50,000 people. But wait, how many people were dying? Let's look up the statistics. How many people were dying of fentanyl under Biden administration every year? How many people were dying of fentanyl every year under Biden, under the Biden administration? Under the Biden administration. Okay. Whoa, you see how bad this was? Look at these numbers. These numbers are so alarming. It says under the Biden administration, annual deaths involving synthetic opioids like fentanyl peaked at roughly 71,000 to 74,000 per year between 2021 and 2024, before they declined significantly to 48,000 in 2024 and then dropped further in 2025. So under the Biden administration, I was right. There was hundreds of thousands of people, a little over 100,000 people that were dying from drug overdose. Those are the peak years. But after that, when Trump got in office, the numbers has dropped significantly from 78, from around 74,000 deaths, with a record high of about 109,000 deaths, to a drastic amount to 40,000, close to 40,000, to a little bit under 40,000. Let me look up the number again. It's basically on the Trump administration. It has dropped from 48,913 in 2024. I mean, to like 38,000 and 84, 38,084 in 2025. So look at the numbers, drastic numbers. Drastic numbers. You can't compare it. It's like night and day. Under the Biden administration, 78,000 people were dying from drug overdose, and it peaked at over 100,000, like 109,000. But under the Trump administration, it has decreased drastically to like 48,000 to like 38,000, and the number still keeps declining. So Trump has done a far better job, not only securing the borders, but preventing fentanyl deaths from increasing in this country overall, because it's been known that a lot of people were dying from that under the Biden administration because the borders were not secure. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. I pretty much wrapped this video up. I already made my point clear. Cause if you dare, let me know if you're still in the live stream. But I think I'm about to finish up this live stream, man. It's been going on for too long, almost 3 hours now. And I think I'm gonna start doing more live stream without the camera sometimes, because I have to hold the camera up, and man, it's just better to just keep it like this for now. And certain things I will talk about more in details because I want to address certain topics. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video on all different platforms. Share this on Facebook, share this on Instagram, share this on TikTok, Snapchat, whatever platform you can share it on. Make sure you share it on, because we got to get this video out in the algorithm so that more people can watch this. And going back to this, I'm gonna summarize justice for justice for Rasheem Carter and this young black woman named Tasia Fortune. Justice for those two black individuals, young men and women, and I hope justice is served. And God don't like ugly, and God is gonna take care of the situation. But black people, any black folks that's living in these sundown town state, be armed and be ready for war. And also, don't go any place by yourself. Always make sure you're in a group of people, because these folks, these YT devils, are going after soft targets. They're going after lone wolves, people who don't have a group of people around them. They're going after soft targets. So be armed and be ready for anything, because these people are waging war against us. Anyways, sorry about that. Thank you for tuning in. Cuz, are you still in the live chat? Let me know if you're still in the live chat. But I just went on a whole different tangent right now. I went on a whole different tangent right now, bro. I was not trying to like talk about this whole different thing, but I could definitely address it. Why I believe Trump is a better fit for the job. Oh, you still in the live chat? Thank you. I appreciate you tuning in to the live chat. And you see, I'm a person that is very reasonable, man. I'm not going to just go with someone because it sounds right, or because majority of black people voted for Kamala Harris, especially black women. 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. But you see, they were the same one that were complaining about how these illegal immigrants were taking these jobs away from them and were basically being dumped in their communities, and they were getting all these privileges over them. They're the same one that were bitching and complaining about it, but yet you vote Democrat, and Democrats, they enforce policies that benefit illegals. They want to keep the border open. So at the end of the day, there's no pleasing with these folks. There's no pleasing these folks. They complain about the problems that they create. Kamala Harris, exactly, cuz you say, yo, isn't it funny, cuz Actually, I'm gonna keep going live. I'm gonna go live for a little bit more. I find it so comical, right? That these same folks that were like upset and having this protest in like in Chicago, right? You had these black women that was speaking out against, because you see, at first they ignored it. Exactly. They didn't want to complain when the illegals destroy and grape them and their children and all that stuff. I find it so funny because in the conference that they were having, these same black folks was like speaking out against illegals, because at first they didn't pay any mind, right? They're like, oh, they have the right, they're hard workers and all this stuff. And so the state of Texas was just like dumping a shit ton of them in the city of Chicago. And in Chicago, it was like they were dumping so many of these illegals to the point where they were just dropping them in the black community. And they're like, the black people are just like complaining about it, like saying, how come you guys are dropping all these illegals in our communities, and they're taking up our space? They're getting all these opportunities. They getting free housing, free medical, free dental, and out of our taxpayer money. And the mayor of Chicago, who was black, was given millions upon millions of dollars to help fund and feed and take care of these illegals, right? Because listen, at the end of the day, these people gotta have some place to stay. They gotta have food to eat. You gotta house them. You gotta get medical. They gotta have these things. Nothing is gonna come for free. Who's gonna come out of the pocket of? They're black Americans, the citizens, and they're the ones that are gonna be impacted by that. And they were complaining about it, but yet they're the same one that voted Democrat. And Democrat advocate for illegals. They're the one that kept the borders open. The Biden administration allowed at least 15 illegal immigrants to bum rush the border, and then when they come to the country illegally, they dump millions upon millions of anchor babies. Their numbers just grow rapidly. It's like an invasive species. They're just like the invasive species, like the pythons in the Everglades. The pythons in the Everglades numbers have gone so out of hand that they have to get hunters now to catch these pythons, because their numbers is growing so rapidly. There's no checks and balances, because the Everglades provide the perfect environment for them to breed and to have a lot of babies. And they don't have no real natural predators, because even natural predators that could compete against this apex predator, they can't manage their numbers. They can't compete with their numbers because pythons breed rapidly. So they become the majority eventually, and they start taking the natural resources from the native species. Similar to the illegal immigration, they come into the country, they have a lot of kids, and a black woman in America abort their babies way more than any other races of women. So what's going to happen if we would allow the borders to stay open? The black community would have been replaced by the Hispanics, and basically the whole freaking country would have turned into Mexico. Now you're going to be required to speak Spanish. And you know what's crazy? Once these folks get their numbers up, they start gatekeeping their community. They start gatekeeping these jobs. You won't be able to get certain jobs in certain places, like in Southern California. You think you could go to Southern California and apply for any certain jobs, like construction jobs or warehouses jobs? Certain jobs, they're not going to hire you if you don't speak Spanish. And if you're black, on top of that, that makes it even worse. You know, a lot of these jobs require you to be bilingual, even though America is an English-speaking country, because of illegal immigration. So what happened is they get their numbers up, and they start moving differently. They want to be friends when the numbers are even, but once their numbers are up to the point where like they're the dominant, because they have a lot of babies, man, and their population go faster than the black community. So eventually they're gonna outgrow the black community. But see, Trump we kind of dodged a bullet, because what Trump did, he deported like about 600,000 Venezuelan in the first term. Like the first year, like he deported so many Venezuelans, because a lot of them were, trying to get, they're trying to seek asylum. But they found out that these asylum seekers were just made up stories. so that they could get into the country and get these privileges that Americans were having. So he deported about 600,000 of them, and on top of that, they were bringing this Chinder Iwaga gang, and Sinawolo gang, and MS-13, and all these Hispanic gangs that were just moving into this country, and they were just wreaking havoc on an American citizen. And another issue, these Hispanic people, these illegal immigrants that come from south of the border, they're responsible for killing a lot of American citizens because they were given CDL license. They were able to get these licenses that they didn't even earn, and they were driving these trucks, these big like 3, 5, 6 ton machines that they couldn't handle, and they were killing a lot of innocent civilians in these type of accidents, rear-ending them. I've heard so many stories of that happening, and also they don't know where they're going, they don't know what they're doing because they can't read the signs because they speak Spanish. Come on, bro. You telling me that I was gonna ever, like, why would I ever vote for a party that don't do nothing to benefit the black community? 18-wheelers, yeah, exactly, cuz they were driving these 18-wheelers, man. And you gotta understand how to drive those type of huge vehicles. These things weigh so many like tons. I don't know how much they weigh, but you can't just drive you can't be no regular driver driving no 18-wheeler, no tractor trailer and those big ass trucks, man. You got to know what you're doing. And they were giving out CDL license like it was nothing to these illegals. And what Trump did, once he got into office, he basically canceled the CDL license from all these illegals, and they had to recall them back from them. Because they were giving them out to illegals and allowing them to just do whatever they want. And they were killing countless and countless of American citizens. I heard so many stories, bro, of families got wiped out because an illegal was either driving one of these 18-wheelers or they were driving a very regular vehicle, but they were driving under the influence. They were highly intoxicated. A lot of them drink a lot of alcohol too. People don't understand. A lot of people come from south of the border, especially them Hispanics. They drink alcohol like it's water, bro. They drink more alcohol than these Americans do. They drink alcohol like it's, bro. A lot of them are freaking alcoholics. So they come to the country, drinking alcohol, like freaking intoxicated out of their mind, and they're killing a lot of innocent civilians in America. So what Trump did, he started deporting these folks, which ultimately started saving the lives of American citizens. Because they were killing. You seen it too, cuz? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just not saying anything. I'm not just making anything. I was rear-ended by an illegal immigrant. I told you the story about it, because remember I told you the story? And his brother, I guess, was an American citizen, but he never had any. He was found without a driver's license. I believe he was an illegal. So they protect these illegals in a lot of these sanctuary cities. They protect these illegals. So they give them driver's license. They give them all these different things, and they allow them to just drive on the road, and they don't even know how to drive. They don't understand the rules of the road. They don't understand the signs. They don't know how to read the signs, and they just killed. They got involved with so many accidents, and a lot. They're drunks. Exactly, they're drunks. They drink alcohol like it's water, man. Like the guy that rear-ended me when when the legal case was being proceeded. I end up finding out during the deposition that this dude was like drunk before he went to the bar. He drank like 6 or 7 beers before he even went to the bar. And then when he went to the bar, they served him more drink on top of that, like tequila, all these extra stuff, right? He was severely intoxicated, and they still allowed him to drive on the road because they were like Hispanic. They like allowed him to drive on the road. They don't hold each other accountable. They drunk. They drink 24/7. This guy, right? He drank like in the morning. He drank like 6, 7, 8 beers during the morning. Severely intoxicated. Then went to like a wedding for his friend, because I guess the friend that he went to see was like the owner of the bar. So he went to like the wedding and whatever event that he was invited to, clearly intoxicated. The security guard didn't ask him for no ID. They allowed him to go through because obviously he was friend with the owner of the restaurant. And then when he was in the restaurant, they were serving him drinks on top of that. They served him like liquor, hard liquor. On top of that, they were mixing it with other drinks and all that stuff. So he was severely intoxicated. So after the accident happened and they did the blood alcohol content level on him, his alcohol was measured like at like point 3 something, like nearly 4 times the legal limit, bro. So when I see it, this is why I speak out against this, and I'm like, I thank God that Trump is deporting these bastards, and I hope they kind of crack down on birthright citizenship. I hope they could crack down more on that because these folks are just breeding like rabbits, and I'm sorry, man. If we don't do nothing, they're already the majority. They're gonna be overpopulating every single community in the country. So what ended up happening is that, bro, I was like, bro, if it wasn't for Trump, imagine how many more accidents would be happening. Imagine you got your loved one, your friends and your family that tragically lose their life because of a drunk migrant. Because they don't have no self-control when it comes down to drinking alcohol, bro. Them bastards there, they drink alcohol like it's juice, man. They drink alcohol like it's juice. And this dude that hit me from behind, his blood alcohol content level was like nearly 4 times the legal limit, bro. You know what I'm saying? They drink alcohol like it's juice, bro. I want these people to be deported, man. I hope they crack down on birthright citizenship. Because, yeah, man, it's not fair that their parents came into the country illegally, and because they were born into this country, they all of a sudden become citizens, even though the law was not meant for that. It was meant for to give citizenship to the babies of slaves, of former slaves. So it just really pisses me off that they abuse the system, man. They benefit off of the was it the 14th Amendment? They benefit off of the civil rights era. They benefit off of everything black people fight for. And then they come into the country and they act like they own shit, man. Once they get their number up, they talking in the press conference, right? When the black folks were holding the talk, trying to speak out against what they were doing for the illegals. This one guy said, "No more money for you. No more money for you. You lazy. You lazy. You lazy." I said, I could play for you right now, cause I want you to hear it, bro. I'm gonna play for you right now so you can hear it, cause this freaking bastard said, "No more money for you. No more money for you. You lazy. You lazy." He can't even speak English, but he know how to say you lazy though. Get out of here, man. I would never advocate for that. For Democrats ever. I would never vote Democrat ever again. No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. Listen to this migrant, man.
During a city council meeting in Chicago, black residents asked what's happening to the resources from their neighborhood, and a migrant starts howling.
I'm gonna show you the video because I'm not. They say you hear the woman say go home, but she's the same one that voted for Democrat. She's the same one that voted for policies that allow these people to come into the country by the millions. But yet they want to talk about Trump this and Trump that, but you vote Democrat. Hey, cuz, watch this video. This dude said, "No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy." And she's like, "Go home, go home." And like I said, these people don't want to listen, man. They don't learn until it's too late. Now they want to complain about it, but they vote for policies that don't benefit them. This dude said, "No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. You lazy, you lazy." You lazy, you lazy. No more money for you. You crazy. You lazy.
That takes
You see
a lot
that?
of balls.
You hear
No
that?
more money for you. You're lazy. As the other migrants are laughing.
But these are the same black women that vote for Democrat. Yo, cuz, you can't make this shit up, bruh. They want to complain about how Trump is racist and all this, but they're the same one that was holding this like protest to speak out against these migrants because they were like taking resources from their community. But they're the same one that vote Democrat, man. You can't make this ish up, bro. This man said, no more money for you. You lazy, you lazy, you lazy. And he's like, oh, you guys are lazy. See, that's the Spanish conquistador mindset they have. That's why I said, man, there's no black and brown coalition, man. Because look how these people act when they come into the country and get their numbers up, or they get arrogant, man. They'll start thinking that, or they look down on black folks and they say we're lazy and all this craziness. They start being racist towards us. They don't even treat their black population in the country equally. They treat them like they're second-class citizen. Black people in these Hispanic countries are like at the bottom of the totem pole, man. They don't get... Yeah, play it. All right. I want you to see this. Look at the video, cuz. Look at this video, cuz. I want you to see, because I want to let you see that I'm not making it up. Watch this. I think I could disable... Look at this, cuz. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
During a city council meeting in Chicago, black residents ask what's happening to the resources from their neighborhood, and a migrant starts hollering.
No more money. It's crazy. I know, right, cuz? It's crazy. Hear it? You hear that? No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. Yo, cuz, I was dying when I watched this live. I watched it when it was actually going on, bro. Cuz I'm like, what is Chicago doing? They're just allowing these migrants to come by the busload. I'm like, how are you going to find place for these people? And what they were doing? They were dumping these folks in the black community, man. And then the first black people were just saying, oh, they're people like everybody else. They deserve equal opportunities. You know, they're hard workers and all this stuff. And then when they started noticing that, man, it was getting out of control. Like, and the mayor of Chicago was just giving all the resources to them folks. They started complaining and said, all right, we got to do something about it. But I'm like, yo, why you wait till things got out of hand to the point where you want change to happen? I'm like, no, you're supposed to dip that in the bud. And all of a sudden you're talking about go home, but you voted Democrat. You voted for policy that don't benefit you. You voted against your own best interests. You voted for policy that allow these people to come into the country illegally, and you got this migrant that don't even know to speak Spanish, but he know to say, no more money for you, no more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. Come on, man, give me a break, man. Right, cuz it's crazy, right? Yo, that's crazy. This dude don't even speak a lick of English, but he know to say, no more money for you. No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. Yo, I was dying, bro. I couldn't stop laughing, bro. I said, this is what your ass get for voting Democrat. Yo, damn, cuz. I couldn't stop laughing, bro. I said, this dude don't know to speak English, but he know to say, no more money for you. No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. I couldn't stop laughing. Yo, I couldn't stop laughing. I said, that's what your ass get for voting Democrat. You got these black women out here trying to protest and say, go home. You hear the woman in the background. Go home. Go home. You vote Democrat, you idiot. and you want to talk about Trump is this and that. You know, if Trump wasn't in office, this migrant would have been laughing in your face and keep saying, "No more money for you, no more money for you. You lazy, you lazy. America, you got no job. No more money for you. You lazy, you lazy, you lazy. Go home." He would tell her to go home, go home. I got job, You don't got no job. Trump is, I know you're dying, cuz I know you're dying. Yo, I'm done. Yo, the migrant would have laughed in her face and clowned her and said, Trump, I got Harris got me job. No more money for you ever. No more money for you. You done. Go back home. You JG. You don't work. You got no job. I got job. No more money for you ever. No more. Yo, I can't breathe. God, this was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a while, bro. This man can't speak English, but he literally, he got the nerve to talk about no more money for you, no more money for you. And you want to vote Democrat? What a bunch of idiots, bro. You got a migrant that can't even speak English, but he have the nerve to say no more money for you, you lazy, you lazy, you lazy. Man, get out of here, bro. I would never vote Democrat ever in my life, man. That's what you get when you vote for Democratic policies, man. What a bunch of idiots, bro. Man, God, that was a good laugh. Bro, I was laughing even more when I was watching this live. I said, this is insane. You got somebody that can't speak English, but he's talking about no more money for you. And then you see, when these people were like holding this this press conference and they were like talking against this migrant, like, oh, go, man, this is too much. You guys are giving resources out to these migrants. I said, you idiot, you voted for this. You voted for this. And now it's like, you know that analogy of the frog that you know you could slowly cook it, like you could turn the temperature high gradually, and it won't jump out of the pot, the boiling pot. But if you slowly, if you turn it up quick, like high temperature, it will instantly jump out because it will feel the heat. But if you slowly turn up the temperature over time, it won't notice the difference. Eventually, it will boil to death. That's the thing with these black folks. Slowly temperature rising. You seen these migrants coming out. They're coming in a busload. They're dumping all these migrants. You talking about, oh, it's not a problem. Oh, these people deserve the same opportunities as anybody else. They're hard workers and they're good people. They're not committing crimes, even though a lot of their kids and people, their cousins and all that stuff are involved in gangs and stuff and drug trafficking, right? And then you don't notice the danger. You don't know that they're posing a risk to your community. Eventually, it reaches a point where there's so many of them, then all of a sudden they're competing against you for the same resources that you work so hard to have. And on top of that, the mayor who is black is given resources that you work hard for, that's coming out of your own taxpayer dollars, to help fund the lifestyle of these migrants, illegal immigrants, Hispanics, they don't work, they don't do nothing, and they get all these opportunities. They don't even pay taxes. How? And now you complain about they need to leave, but you voted for that. You voted for that, man. You voted for Democratic policies. This is why I can never. I'm not gonna say your name because I'm just gonna say cuz. But cuz, remember in the earlier, I don't know if you was in my earlier, not too early, but like towards the end. I was literally going back and forth with several people in my chat that was trying to convince me that, yeah, Trump is evil. Somebody said Trump is evil, like comically evil. And then they were like, obviously Trump got issues, right? I know Trump is not perfect. I know Trump got issues, but they were trying to convince me that Kamala Harris was a better fit for the job than Trump is, because he's so evil. And this is the reason why people didn't vote for a lot of these black folks that are stuck in the Democratic plantation. The reason why they didn't vote for Trump is because of their emotion. They say he's racist. They say he's evil. They say that he's bigoted. He's all that. He's a misogynist. Bro, Trump is not perfect, but one thing I know, he's a far better fit for the job than Scamler. He's gonna secure the border. He's gonna deport these illegals, and he's gonna put like you can never prevent drugs from being trafficked into the country, but Trump was definitely important in slowing down the rate of which drugs were being trafficked south of the border. You saw it? You saw it? Oh, yeah. You see how I was going back and forth with these folks? So it seems like, yeah, there was a lot of... I was going back with a bunch of Democratic people that were stuck on the plantation, bro. You see, when I was talking about religion and stuff, like the scriptures and stuff, I know to hold my own. You see, people don't know how to read to understand. They just read out of emotion. And same thing when it comes on to policy, like voting. They don't vote to understand the policies that each president bring to the table, and vote for the candidate that will sign policies that will benefit their people. You know, right? They don't vote for their best interest. They like vote off of emotion. So they don't vote for Trump because they say he's racist, he's evil, he's this and that, and Kamala Harris, because he's a black woman. Remember they were saying in the chat, they said Kamala Harris was a black woman. Yeah. Slave mindset, exactly. Exactly, the slave mindset, bro. I'm telling you, man, they don't vote for their own policies. They don't vote for their own benefit, man. They vote against their best interest. And then same thing with the analogy what I'm talking about with the frog, how you can, if you slowly turn up the temperature and you don't do it immediately, eventually you could boil the frog to death. That's what black folks are. They're like similar to that. They don't see the danger in they don't look like a year, 2-3 years down the road. They're like, oh, I vote for this party because the Democratic Party hasn't done anything to benefit the black community. All they do is use identity politics to get people to vote for them. And shit, Kamala Harris had like ratchet ass 304s rapping assholes on the stage, twerking and acting ratchet as hell. And like just a slap in the face. Is like, oh, all we need to do is bring a bunch of entertainers, and black folks will vote for us. It's so easy to get them folks to vote for Democrat. All you gotta do is get some rappers and some ratchet assholes to twerk on the dance floor, and you got a bunch of black folks that will vote Democrat. Bro, I can't stand the black community, and like a lot of times there's just a lot of low IQ people in our community, man. And then in the situation with Chicago, it's like these people only woke up when they start realizing that, man, this shit was getting out of hand. There's too many migrants, Hispanic migrants now, and they dump them. They don't dump them. You see, cuz is laughing because I say they're twerking on stage. Yeah, a lot of them be twerking on stage, but it's like that's how much it takes to get black people to vote for Democrat. Just bring a bunch of ratchet ass 304s to twerk on stage. Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, a bunch of bimbos. Just get a bunch of bimbos to twerk on stage, and then you will get black people to vote Democrat. Oh, cuz that's how easy it is. Yo, cuz it's easy to get votes. Yo, cuz it's so easy to get black people to vote Democrat. All you gotta do is get a bunch of bimbos to twerk on stage, man. With their weaves on, weaves. Let them twerk on stage with their actual weak weaves, fake hair on their head, eyelashes, all type of craziness. And they will vote Democrat no matter what. It's not easy to get black folks to vote that, bro. If you, yo, get people to get some watermelon, get some chicken wings. Man, I'm telling you, man, black folks are. Man, I'm telling you, bro, our people as a whole lack knowledge, man. We are really. Yo, that's what Biden did. Cause he had like chicken wings on the like water. He was eating chicken wings and talking about how he loved chicken wings and watermelon, and black folks were like riding with him because of that. And this dude said, if you don't vote for him, you're not black enough. If you don't vote for him, he said some racist shit. I'm like, so they're talking about how racist Trump is, but Biden has said some racist shit himself. But I'm telling you, black folks will never wake up until it's too late, man. Yo, man, I'm telling you, they won't wake up until it's too late, cuz, man. These people won't never wake up. So, man, like I said, they're gonna learn the hard way. But right now, Trump kind of put a stop to it because, shit. You know that there was literally, yeah, he did that. He was like, he said something. I'm gonna find that video, bro. But I remember there was a video when he's talking about how much he loves chicken wings and watermelon, and talking about he was basically making a mockery of the stereotypes of black people, and black folks was like, they were like supporting him because they felt like he was speaking on like highly of black people. And I'm like, what? And for you to say something like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black enough to vote. I forgot the exact word he said, but he said something along the lines like, if you're not black enough if you don't vote for me, or some crazy crap like that. So I'm really surprised that people really like fell for this okie doke. And when he got in office, you already seen that he passed laws that benefit Hispanic migrants. The legal immigrants that were coming to the country, they were coming in by the millions, bro. Millions. And historical like black states that were known to not have a lot of Hispanic population, numbers start getting crazy because they were dumping these people in black communities. So now black people are competing against them for resources, for jobs, for opportunities, and I'm telling you, once these people get their numbers up, they start gatekeeping the jobs, gatekeeping their community. You can't go to certain places, like for instance, Southern California. There's places a black person can't go. It's so much race in parts of Chicago too. Like there's certain parts of Chicago black people can't go and live because the Hispanic people will run up on them. They will run up on the black folks if they see him. There's certain places that they know is off limits. I said, what? Black folks don't do that to no other ethnic group. If there's in Atlanta, right? Where there's a good population of black people, you don't see no place in America where there's a large percentage of black people living there, and we have this like apartheid, segregation going on where we said no Hispanic allowed. You don't see nowhere in America where black people say, oh, black people, no Hispanic can come in this community. If they come in this community, we're gonna run up on them and we're gonna beat them up, and they're gonna end up losing their life. But you see countless places throughout America, in Chicago, in Southern California, where black people can go and live because the Hispanic people will run up on them and say, you don't belong here. And you told me there's a black and brown coalition? Get the hell out of it. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying anybody who thinks there's a black and brown coalition is full of shit. Because, see, black people are very accepting of other races of people. Black people are very accepting of other ethnic groups. There's nowhere in America where you see when there's a large percentage of black people living in, and they say, oh, Hispanic people can't come live here. If they see any Hispanic people, we're gonna threaten them. We're gonna intimidate them. We're gonna firebomb the house they live in. But Hispanic people have done that to black people in Southern California. I read up on this stuff, bro. I do my I got some of the stuff from one of these YouTubers, but I kind of stopped watching this video because he's like this whole FBA thing that I said before. I feel like it was disrespectful, and they were becoming. I gotta make a separate video about the issue I have with the FBA community. I'm gonna talk about the good things that I agree with the FBA committee and things that I don't agree with. But I kind of have to distance myself with those folks because they're people. A lot of people in that committee, they're a bunch of hateful group of people, and yeah, I don't rock with people like that because I be standing strong with the Black Americans, and I'm like, yo, I fight with your fight. Your fight is my fight because at the end of the day, you know, when a racist come to harass us, they don't see us different than any other black person. They don't judge, oh, one black person differently than the other because of where they're from. Oh, if that person is from the Caribbean, they don't say, oh, that black person is ethnically Jamaican or Haitian or Dominican, like, cause you got some black people a lot of black people that live in Dominican, even though a lot of the Dominicans say, me no black. I don't know why the Spanish conquistadors have indoctrinated a lot of these Hispanic people to believe I'm not black, even though they're darker skinned than me. But in their mindset, they don't see themselves as black. But anyways, even that's the case, right? Depending on which part of whether they're from the Caribbean or they're from Africa, at the end of the day, a racist white devil is not going to see you less of a person. They're not going to see, oh, that person is ethnically. They're not going to distinguish a black person based on where they're from. They all see them as black people. You get what I'm saying? They don't see them any differently. So they're not going to judge you based on your ethnic, where you're ethnically from. They see you all as the same. That's what I'm saying. We as people we are stronger in numbers. But this, I don't know, man. There's a lot of things I want to address because I do agree with a lot of things they stand for, but at the same time, it's filled with a lot of hate, man. A lot of hate in that group. They use a word that's very offensive, and it's used to describe black foreigners that come from these various countries like the Caribbean, South America, parts of South America, Africa. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, I can't rock with that, man. Because I had an incident that happened to me where somebody came and disrespected me, and the host of the show didn't stand up for me, and I supported this host for years, like gave him money, sent money to his super chat, gave him his Cash App, and supporting his channel, and he never came to my defense and say, hey, wait a second, why you guys are calling him that offensive word? You guys should not refer to him as this offensive racist slur that they call anybody. It's like basically calling a black person the N word. They call him tether. But I'm gonna address this in my other video. And I'm gonna break it down to you because I don't think you know about this stuff. Like this is a sector of the black community that identify themselves as FBA. And I don't have nothing against the people in terms of their struggle against white supremacy and standing up against the system. And I'm always gonna rock with the struggle because I know as a black person, the white devils are not gonna distinguish between if you're ethnically black American or if you're from the Caribbean or you're from and I don't hold this mindset of like superiority because I'm from Jamaica and all that stuff. Even though I was born there, I lived most of my life in America. So there's the things I gotta address because I'm like, to address me in that type of way, it's crazy that he never came to my defense because I've been rocking with his channel for a while, and he allowed some noob to call me this racial slur and refer to me as the offensive word. I don't like saying the word. It's very offensive. It's like calling the black person the N word with the R-E-R. It's called tether, right? And he never came to my defense and say, wait a second, hold up now. We're gonna first delete that comment, and nobody addressed. He didn't say like, we're not gonna address any person, even if even if their parents might have come from another country, or even if they may be born in another country. We're not going to address this person by this term. This term is only used to describe any person coming from another country that look down on black Americans. But we're not going to address nobody that is standing with us and fighting our cause. He never stood up for me. He allowed this person to call me this racial slur, and also one of his moderators to disrespect me and talking about, oh, how you think you don't know nothing about the American culture, even though I've lived in the country longer than some of these so-called Black Americans. I live in the country most of my life. I live in America most of my life, right? So I understand the American culture a lot. Sometimes I know the culture a lot more than these so-called Black Americans. And so the fact that he never came to my defense, and then when I hear him talking and how he addressed Black foreigners, he used the word without distinguishing it, like saying there's a difference between these people and that people. I said I lost all respect for the FBA community when it comes down to that part of it. Like with everything else, I stand with them because I believe in right, what's right is right and what is wrong is wrong. And when I see these stories of Black men and women, even if they're Black Americans, most of them are Black Americans. When I hear them, stories of Black Americans being lynched, being murdered, and being killed in these ways, and nothing is being done for them to get justice, it hurts me because it could be anyone I know, and these people don't care where you're from. If you're Black, they see you as the N word. So it's a fight against the system itself that I'm against, right? So I speak out against this stuff, and I advocate for the rights of the Black Americans because they fought for civil rights that allow people from other countries to come into the country, right? So I always stand with them in solidarity when it comes onto that. But this term was created by Tariq Nasheed, and it's a very offensive term that they use to this, like, basically it's a racial slur they use against Black foreigners. And I thought maybe they was only using the term against people who were basically carrying white inferiority complex mindset into the country. But no, they didn't make that difference between the two. There was any person that's Black that's coming from another country is called this very offensive term. I don't like saying it. It's like literally calling a Black person the N word with the RER. So, anyways, thank you, cuz, for tuning into my live stream. I think I'm gonna make a separate video about why I have the issue that I have with the FBA community. I gotta address it because man, I couldn't rock with this. The hate they have towards people that are Black is just that are not Black Americans is sick. And I'm like, dude, you got people that are coming from other countries that work hard and build themselves up to be successful, and at the same time, they support them Black Americans. They're in solidarity. They're actually trying to get into law. They're trying to do things to support Black American struggle because we, at the end of the day, we're all in the fight together. Because we are fighting against the system of white supremacy. And if we get targeted by a racist white cop, he's not gonna see us any different. All of us we're all seen as Black, even though we're all not the same. Just like Hispanics are not all the same. You got Hispanic from different countries. They have their own lingo, different culture. They're not all the same just because they speak Spanish. Same thing with Black people. We're not all the same. We have different languages, different cultures, different lingos, and all that stuff. But they all see us as Black. That's the way they see us under the racist society, under white supremacy. This system don't see us any different than any other Black person. That's why I'm always gonna advocate for my Black American brothers and sisters when it comes fighting against the system of white supremacy. And like I said, I stand with them on certain principles. But one thing I can't stand is how they treat people who come from other countries, and they just use this racial slur that's very offensive to basically disparage those people, and I gotta speak out against it. But anyways, cuz, thank you for tuning in. But do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, see, that's messed up, cuz. That's very messed up. I felt so disrespected because I've been rocking with this YouTuber for years, bro. For years. And he used to post my comment. Like, I used to make some, like, real thought-provoking comments, right? And he will post my comment and highlight it on his live chat and leave it there for, like, several minutes because he know I be talking some real stuff. And then what happened is this incident happened when one of his moderators talking about, oh, you're not a Black American because let me see. Okay. Yeah, there's a hatred group, bro. It's a hateful group. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but it's a lot of people that are a part of this FBA community are a bunch of hateful group of people. Like they all group black people. If you don't have no parent, if you don't got no parents that are from America, like if you don't got grandparents and all that stuff that's from America, they see you as a, I hate saying the word because it's so offensive, but I'll spell it out for you. I'll just say it one more time, tether. And it's a very offensive word to describe black foreigners. It's like literally calling black foreigners the N word with a R-E-R. It's a very offensive word, man. Yeah, I forgive them. I don't hold nothing against them. I don't hold nothing against them, but I have to separate myself from that community, man. It's too much hateful, too much hate going around, and it's like that type of hate, bro. It kind of makes me realize that you could be trying to fight for the rights of these people, but the way they treat you, you kind of like have to let them sometimes fight their own battles because you're like, bro, if I'm fighting for the rights, I'm not fighting the same. I'm not fighting for the battle, the same battle that you're going through, and I'm there walking with you in solidarity, and I'm speaking out against the system that's designed to oppress. You know that he got a lot of talking points from me too, cause that's the thing that really effed me up, right? When I said black people can't be racist because we don't create laws that help benefit us, and we haven't created laws that have oppressed a group of people, he got my that talking point directly from me. A lot of things that I say, he take it and use it in his live chat. So he got a lot of talking points from me. So I'm like, the fact that he didn't speak out against what they were saying, they're coming at me and disrespect me in the chat, calling me the offensive word, the TETHER word. This random dude calling me that term, and I'm like, just because I was born in America doesn't mean I should be seen as that, because I've been always rocking with black Americans with their struggles and they fight against white supremacy, and I've always been a supporter of this guy's channel. You know, I've donated to his channel in cash apps and super chats, and he never stood up for me and say, hey, wait a second. First of all, I want to address this person that's called one of my loyal supporters this offensive word. First of all, we're not going to call no person, even if they don't born in America, this offensive word. This word is only used for people who don't stand with black Americans and they struggle, who speak out against black Americans. You know what I mean? Like, he never said that and make that distinction. So after a while, and I see how he started talking and say, all these FBA dudes talk about and white supremacy all day. I said, wait, so you're seeing all black people who come from another country as that word. It's very offensive, bro. It's like calling black people the N-word, but it's for foreigners. So I can't, Tariq Nasheed came up with this very offensive word, and I gotta address it in my next, I'm gonna have to go into detail about this Tariq Nasheed guy. He's like a pimp. He's pimping the people, and I gotta go into detail about this dude. And I gotta expose him in a way about this stuff, because I'm like, he came up with a term that literally create this division amongst black people from all different ethnic groups. And I'm like, yo, we're fighting the same fight. And don't get me wrong, you got people come from other countries that, especially from Africa, a lot of these people from Africa be looking down on black Americans. I would say that. And some people from Jamaica too, and Caribbean. A lot of these people do some, but not everyone does though. Not everyone comes with this mindset that black Americans are lazy and they're a bunch of, no good people and they're idiots. And no. I know there's a lot of intelligent black folks out here that are doing things, great things, making moves and stuff like that. And when I see the struggle that black people have gone through the civil rights era and all that, I can't look down on my people, because I see what my people has done. I fight the same fight they fight. All right. So let me make a long story short. I gotta address that. I gotta make another separate live stream about that. And another thing too, I'm gonna do. I'm going to explain why I separate myself from that so-called community, but I'm still fighting with them at the same time. But I gotta distance myself because I can't stand the disrespect, and I don't hold no hatred or nothing against them. I forgive them, but I gotta make sure I distance myself for my own sanity, because the way they talk about black foreigners is disgusting, and I'm like, they're not doing nothing to address it. So I'm done with that community, bro. I will stand at a distance, support them in their fight, but I won't rock with them the way I used to. Anyways, cuz, thank you for tuning in. This live has been going on for a while now. But yeah, be on the lookout. I'm gonna make another live stream. I'm gonna talk about issues, what I addressing the FBA community and why I have and what problem I have with that. And I'm gonna talk about things that I like and things that I don't like, and I'm gonna go into details about where this community come from. And obviously, there's truth to it because it's a lot of truth to the reason why they identify as FBAs. But there's some other things that I don't rock with and I don't agree with, especially with Tariq Nasheed coming. He the one that invented the term TETHER, very offensive word. It's like basically calling the foreign black person the N word with a RER. But anyways, thank you for tuning in, cuz. Take care. Be safe out there. God bless. And yeah, I'm gonna be I'm making some other live stream. Be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna probably do it tomorrow or something. But all right, take care. Thank you for tuning into the live stream, man. I'm glad that you laughed during the time, bro. Sometimes you gotta make it entertaining too as well. But anyways, I'm gonna try to see if I could take care of some things, but be on the lookout for some other video in regards to that. All right, peace out. 3 hours and 50 more minutes long. Damn.